My room is just down here, and you can put your feet up while we talk. Hi, guys!
That is right. Welcome back to the Nerdy Wordy Book Club. My name's Nerdy.
And I'm Clarus.
And this is the prologue through chapter 15 of The Dragon Reborn. Y'all, we're starting a new book.
Yes, yeah. It's funny. After the last one, it was we wanted to... What was that?
My Apple Pen.
Oh, it's fine. Just the Apple Pen. I was like, oh God, I cannot wait to jump into the next book. But then,
I know.
But then we did our week review, which honestly, it's good that we do that because it actually helps me kind of retain it all. Mm-hmm. And then jumping into this, it just kicks off.
Well, and what I love in comparison to the last book, which the first part of the last book was kind of a bunch of world building, because the Great Hunt starts with them having done the thing at the Eye of the World, and then they're trying to figure out what's next, and so they're in Faldara, and they're just kind of sitting there. I feel like the camera's wrong today, but whatever. They're sitting there in Faldara, and things happen in Faldara around them, but they. But nothing happened. It takes a few chapters to get going.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, right away, it's oh, the thing already happened.
Yep.
We understand where we are, and we kind of need to get moving here. And the story takes off really quickly in a nice way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It wastes no time, and it's a little bit shorter because of that, I think.
For everyone wondering why Clarus, if you're listening to the podcast, sorry, Clarus is wearing her Scarlet Witch cosplay because as soon as this episode ends, we are going to Comic-Con. So,
yay!
Toronto Fan Expo, we will be in you very soon.
Very soon.
Also, y'all, huge announcement before we get into the book today. Very excited about this. We are sponsored. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is right. Today, we are shilling for the one, the only HelloFresh. If you click that link in the chat, that link will also be in the top of the description. It'll be in the podcast notes, all the places where you can click on things. HelloFresh reached out to us and was like, hey, do you eat? And we were like, yes. Yes. And so they wanted to reach out and offer, if you sign up through our link and use the code POGSE3330, that's POGSE3330, you can get 16 free meals.
Yeah.
It's a lot of food.
And surprise gifts. We had 3 HelloFresh meals in the last week, and they were all incredible. So...
Yeah, so definitely check out HelloFresh. It is so funny that they reached out to us because we had just ordered HelloFresh.
Yeah, and then 3 days later.
No, it came in the mail. We got our box. And then the next day, HelloFresh was like, hey, do you want to work with us? And we were like, did you...
Yes,
are you
like
listening?
Food. I like food.
Are you listening? So we've made a couple of meals now with HelloFresh, and they're so good.
They're actually fantastic. We don't ever do sponsorships of things that we don't actually use as well. We used this once, and I was like, oh, this is nice. I'm definitely gonna be doing this again.
Yeah, prepackaged ingredients helps you cut down on waste. The food is always super duper fresh, and the ingredients are super easy to follow, and you can get through a recipe in about 30 minutes on average. I'm sure there's some longer ones, some shorter ones. It's kind of bounces all around, but they have meals that can pertain to your dietary and life choices. Go to HelloFresh.com using the link that is in the chat, or use the code POG, POGSE 3330
Jesus.
at checkout, and you get your 16 free meals and some free extra stuff.
Nailed it.
But we're not here to make you hungry in the morning. I'm so glad I ate breakfast today. We are here to talk about The Dragon Reborn, which is a book that we've read a part of.
Yes. So this week's reading was including up to chapter 15, and it's one of those things where it kind of really jumped. It kind of jumped on the ball, but not a ton of events happened. If that makes sense. Also, Randy, thank you so much for becoming.
Randy, thank you for joining the Nerds.
Table.
Yeah, it is interesting. Because usually this show's 2.5 hours long. And I don't know that we have 2.5 hours worth of stuff to talk about here unless we really go deep on those dreams.
I mean, we're pretty good at finding stuff
out
to talk about. So
yes, we are. So let's start all the way in the prologue. I'm trying to remember where I took notes in my iPad.
Where's the file? Yeah.
It's in the one app I ever take notes in. We're all the way in the prologue here, and we get off to an interesting start because much like the prologue of the Great Hunt, darkness.
Dark.
But we don't actually start with the dark one this time. We start with Nile, Lord Commander Nile of the White Cloaks. Before we get into this, I have been playing a lot of Elden Ring. I'm sure some of you have been playing a lot of Elden Ring. It's a very good game. I like it a lot. I was playing it before the stream this morning while Clarice was doing her makeup. There is a Commander Nile who is one of the bosses, one of the hardest bosses in the game is Commander Nile. And I have to wonder, George R. R. Martin, Robert Jordan, good friends. George R. R. Martin, fan of Wheel of Time. George R. R. Martin, lore creator for Elden Ring. Is Nile in Elden Ring a reference to Wheel of Time?
It might be. For me, obviously it's never something I would pick up on, but it's not a super common name, so I think it's possible, yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me that George R. R. Martin, I hope it is. I hope it is George R. R. Martin's way of referencing his friend, because that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And when I was watching, I haven't gotten to Nile yet. He's much further along than I am. But I was watching someone else do his stream, and he was fighting him, and I was like, wait, I just read the prologue. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait a second. George R. R. Martin, I hope it's a reference to your friend, because it made me happy.
Yeah.
This prologue starts a trend in this early part of this book where we get a lot of stuff we already know.
Yeah.
Robert Jordan goes through the sequel route of, I'm going to copy paste some previous descriptions just to pad out the page count on this one.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know. I didn't really feel like it was padded.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's one of those things where these books came out years apart. And so it's a nice reminder for people who read it as soon as it dropped and then had to wait for the next one, I think. But yeah, there's definitely some stuff that okay, we knew that.
Yeah, Robert Jordan, he likes, I'm okay with a little bit of reminding, but there was a lot at the top of this book. And some of it I get. And I always get it. You want to assume that your audience is coming to, maybe someone's picking this book up first, and they need to understand what's going on.
I mean, that would be weird.
I think that if it had been 2 years since we read the last book when it came out, if we were reading them as it came out, wouldn't think anything of it, because we'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm glad I have that information again.
Yeah.
Like the fact that my rain only comes up to Rand's shoulder. But
yeah, he seems very obsessed with her height, and I'm like, I don't really understand why this matters, but okay.
But I think because we're kind of binging through and we're not really taking a 1 week break between books. It's just information that we just read, and so every time I'm like, I know. No, Robert, I know.
Yeah,
I'm aware.
Yeah, I don't know if he expected a book club on YouTube where...
Well, I think in 1990 he would have been like, sorry, what's YouTube?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that the train system? The tube? Yeah, no, I've written the tube.
Yeah, the tube. No, not quite. Yeah.
I wonder what Robert Jordan would have thought, never mind. I'm not going to make that joke.
Okay.
So Bayer made it. We knew that Bornhold, he sent Bayer to not fight in the battle. He was like, watch it, write everything down in your memory banks, and then when you get to the Lord Commander Nile, take that pensive memory out and show him everything, because the White Cloaks must have the knowledge of the enemy if we're going to win. And Bornhold believes this. He's like, yeah, that sounds like something Bornhold, or Nile believes this. He's like, yeah, that sounds like something Bornhold would do. And I'm like, wouldn't you always, it seems like you would always have that guy.
Yeah. That seems very important.
That it seems like, because I've never thought about it before. But what a good idea to have someone. No. Go stand over there with binoculars, and if things go wrong.
Yeah. Well, because otherwise, so much of the there's so many themes in this book that center around rumor and legend and not knowing all the facts. And so having someone who actually like knows what happened seems very important.
Yeah, 1,000%. It's smart too. Unfortunately, he does name check Perrin. So Niall is adding Perrin to the list of names that the White Cloaks are after.
He's got a list.
Can't imagine that's going to be important later in the book. They're probably going to forget about it.
Yeah.
And Byre is sent to go tell Bornhold's son about how he died in a mist cloud.
Yeah. I'm like, you still don't really have all the facts, so was it a useful tool? I mean, you'd think it was, but...
A bunch of fog rolled in, and then gods came down from the past and murdered everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it was Perrin's fault.
Apparently?
Apparently.
Wow. I hate that.
So Byre leaves, and in comes Carradine, whose name is like the sword that's at the center of this book, which I find very fun.
Yeah.
Carradine, a questioner, comes in from the Almeth Plain, and y'all, can we just talk to chat for a second? The live viewers. Last week, y'all were like, did you guys figure out who Bors is? Did you figure it out? This is Bors. He was not in the last book. Why are you doing this to us? This is clearly who Bors is. Like, clearly. We figured that out, right? He wasn't in the last book. Why in the last episode were y'all like, did you figure out who Bors is? He wasn't in the book. He wasn't there. I'm watching you. I got my eyes on you.
Wait, what?
Okay, so Bors is introduced at the beginning of the last book, right?
Of the previous book, yeah.
Yeah, in the like prologue thing. And then we don't ever see him do anything. And then here he's clearly Bors. And everyone in like our chat last week was like, did you figure out who Bors was?
What do you mean who he was? I don't get that.
What do you mean?
What do you mean who he was? He was in... What do you mean who he was?
Everyone was asking if we figured out who Bors was. Carradine is clearly Bors, right? He's the guy on the Almeth Plain doing the crap on the Almeth Plain for the Dark One.
Oh.
So this guy must be Bors.
Oh, from the... Yeah. I mean, that was... I figured. But yeah, we didn't meet this guy until this chapter when he walks into the, like...
Chai is saying that he was mentioned. All right, he was mentioned in the Great Hunt. I'm still calling y'all out. Y'all are getting feisty with me, and I don't like it.
You had me very confused. I was like, wait, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know what you...
I felt like I was being very clear.
No, and I didn't understand because it wasn't in the last... I don't know. I was very confused as to what chat was wanting from us.
They want us to be omniscient about what's going to be introduced in later books.
All right, we got it.
Can you guess this thing that hasn't been happening yet? Carradine comes in and is basically like, yo, everybody's at war. Kyrian, war. Ilian and the Tyr, maybe going to war.
Yeah.
Almeth playing Terabon Damani, war. Everyone is at war. Everything is bad. This world is falling apart because Rand fought the devil in the sky.
Yeah.
Rand fought the devil in the sky? Not a bad name for a book.
That seems
or a
like
song.
A weird song. Yeah, I was gonna say that's like a metal song that you play on Guitar Hero.
Rand fought the devil in the sky.
Yeah.
Rand fought. Yeah.
That's exactly where my brain went.
1,000%. But despite the fact that this questioner feels like he has done everything he's supposed to be doing, Niall gives him a good old dressing down. Right? He's like, you know what?
Yeah. Well, he's trying to scare him, obviously.
You're a little snake in the grass. I know you're a little snake in the grass. And I don't trust snakes in the grass. And he's like, look, what I need you to do, and this is where this prologue gets, the first point where this gets really interesting, and I'm glad this was here. I don't want you to kill Rand. I want you to keep Rand alive, because I want to kill Rand at the right time so that the White Cloaks can appear to be the saviors.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this?
It's very smart, if you don't have all the information that you have. Well, actually, no, I think it's exactly what he wants. Like, he does not seem to care if people get hurt while Rand is still alive. Because here's the thing, he thinks Rand is evil. He obviously knows that male channelers go mad, like that kind of thing. And so he's just very happy, like putting everybody at risk, so that he can seem like the good guy. And that's the thing. He's like, I'm getting old. I got to make a name for myself, and this is how I'm gonna do it. And I don't give a crap who dies because of that. I'm like, wow, okay. I hate people like that. So yeah, fuck you.
Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing about it, right? We get to this point with the storytelling of this character where the corruption in the White Cloaks is so evident.
Yeah.
And what's so fun about it is we're going to get to Swan later.
Yeah.
And the corruption in Swan is the opposite of this, right? Like, she is going against the values of her organization, doing everything she can to fight the dark. Whereas rather than fighting the dark and going, he's going against the values of the organization, doing everything that he can to promote his own self-interest.
Yeah.
But they both have these secret organizations going on within their organization to do their own thing, right? Relating to Rand. And I just find it so fascinating in comparing Niall and Swan and what they're doing within their separate organizations and how they're kind of using the same tactics, but in different ways and for different goals. We have the White Tower and we have the White Cloaks, and they are so at odds, but their leaders are so similar in a weird way.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that that's on purpose. Perry Wolf, thank you so much for that super duper chat.
Oh my god, the Dusty Wheel does a Wheel of Time idol, and Rand fought the devil in the sky would be awesome.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll just hire a band.
Sounds good. Let's make it happen.
And so yeah, I think that I found Niall to be really fun and interesting. I think in terms of like a villain who doesn't have magic and is just going to be like a political villain for Rand, I feel like Niall was set up here to be tactical and like what's the word I'm trying to use? He was set up to be a worthy adversary politically to the ideals of the Dragon Reborn army. Yeah. In a way that I feel like the Game of Houses that we saw, the Deus Damar that we saw in Kyrian didn't set up for me.
I mean, yeah, and they imploded, they're a mess. So.
Like this is the level of like political thinking that I find interesting to read and find interesting in terms of a character and the way that they're built up. Yeah. And obviously all the characters who mattered in Kyrian are murdered now anyway, so that doesn't matter as much. But in terms of building up Niall as a villain here, this was a really well written chapter, and I really liked him a lot.
Yeah. What a strong start to a book. What a strong introduction to him, and really a deep dive into how messed up the White Cloaks are on like the even the higher up levels. This was definitely one way to kick off a book.
He reminded me of Grand Moff Tarkin from Star Wars.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And then like Child Valda will probably be the like Orson Krennic of this organization. But like I got like real Tarkin vibes off of Niall.
Okay.
Like if Peter Cushing was still with us and he played Niall, I'd be so in.
Yeah, you have definitely more knowledge on that character than I do, because I only know it from the sequels, or not the original trilogy.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean that's most of his stuff, right? Tarkin is really just the Death Star guy.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna pitch this big button.
Okay. Now, Carradine leaves, and Ordeath comes through the wall. Literally through the secret passage into the Lord Commander's chambers that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Was this Padden Fane?
Absolutely. Of course it's Padden Fane. Like, literally... the most obvious.
Remember when I was like, oh yeah, no, Padden Fane went with the Sanchin?
Nope.
How did Padden Fane get here?
Really?
Ordeath?
Waystones.
You mean Mordeth?
Ordeath, yeah. Ordeath, Mordeth, Grima Ordeath, yeah. They literally call him Worm something. Wormwood, or like Ordeath means, I think, wormwood, which is basically...
Oh, we're fully back on the Lord
tongue.
of the Rings reference train.
Yeah, wormwood. Yeah. And I was like, well, okay.
I was reading this, I was like, the only person who has this knowledge is Padden Fane.
Yeah.
Why didn't he... But I thought he left with the Sanchin.
I figured he would have as well, but the one connection that he did have to the Sanshin was like straight up murdered. So I guess he was like, well, I don't really have like an inn here, so I'm gonna have to find an inn somewhere else.
I get. Oh, right. Yeah, because he can't just show up the Emperor and be like, I was Torvok's dude, and then Torvok is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely Pat and Fane. Like, almost, yeah.
1,000%. Like, yeah. It would be really weird if it wasn't.
Gunlever says, how did Pat and Fane get from Falma to Nile in the same time frame Byre also went from Falma to Nile? No. Pat and Fane had to get there faster because there was an established relationship between Nile and Ordeath.
He definitely used the Waystones.
Oh, he just used the way. So he had like 2 weeks. Okay, yeah, no, he just had like a 2-week head start.
Yeah.
Right.
He definitely used the gate.
Right, because Machin Shin is working with Pat and Fane.
Yeah.
Okay, that actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, because if he used the ways, Byre would have had to ridden cross country. That would have taken weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, no, actually that does. Yeah. You're right.
It just, like, we know that he can, so. He's got quads of steel.
It is so funny because it was noticeable that despite the fact that in this first chunk of the book, Robert Jordan describes the appearance of every single character, he notoriously leaves out describing the physical characteristics of Ordeath.
Oh, I think he says like a man with like a sallow man with a big nose or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
but he like doesn't like get too far into it because I think that he's trying to hide it a little bit. But I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're like, I see what you're doing there.
Do you think that Amadisia is going to be the next Rohan?
Amadisia?
Isn't that where the White Cloaks live?
Oh, maybe.
That's their kingdom, right?
The next Rohan.
Or the next Shadar Lagoth.
I don't think the White Cloaks are salvageable. Could you imagine if we like watched a Shadar Lagoth type event happen?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, right? Like, is this the beginning of the like corruption of the White Cloaks, and is Amadisia going to be like, is there going to be like the big battle for Amadisia at some point in the show where they like Rand has to ride in and save it from the darkness of, Niles being corrupted by Ordeath?
Do you think Rand is going to try and like save the White Cloaks?
I think that Rand wants to save people. Like, Rand seems like a good dude, you know what I mean? I think that if they were like, oh yeah, no, Pat and Fane is corrupting Amadisia.
Yeah.
I think that Rand would show up and help, right?
I mean, I think so. It's not like he, like, it's not like he was ever captured by them. He's never experienced their, like, questioning firsthand. Which, by the way, I love that everybody's like, yeah, whatever we want from you, the questioners will get out of you. It literally does not matter if it's the truth or not. Nobody cares. Like,
and what's funny is that before Carradine leaves, Nile does threaten to send him to the questioners.
I know, yeah.
And then, so we get the scene with Ordeath. Ordeath, tells about Matrim Cawthorn, he tells about Perianabara, and he tells about Rand. He gets all that information pumped into Nile. And then we cut over to Carradine, and then Carradine walks in his room, and there's a Murdral there. Yeah,
casual fade. I'm like, oh, wow.
Okay.
That escalated quickly.
So, as y'all know, we are show watchers first, and we like to bring up the show, because that's the perspective that we're coming into this podcast with. The Fade talk a lot in the books. Mm-hmm. Like, people have full conversations with the Fades a lot. Mm-hmm. Do you think that we're going to see the Sarlacc mouth Fades from the show speak? Are they going to give them, like, the ability to talk and not just scream at any point? Because, like...
I think they're going to have to.
The Fades can speak. Like, the Fades aren't, like, creatures. They're totally sentient, and they have the ability of speech.
Yeah.
Do you think they do a like Saphira from Aragon and they can like hear the Fades in their head?
No. You just hurt my heart. No, like it's just gonna be like a weird, like screechy, like whispery kind of speech.
It can't be. Their teeth are circular. They have they don't have lip. They don't have they don't have the functions of speech physically.
Can you not speak without lips?
I know.
I don't know the inner workings of how a mouth and speech are. Well, because you can make noise as long as you have vocal cords, and we know that they've made noise, so they have vocal cords.
They can go, ah!
Oh my god.
And here's the thing. What's so funny is going back, I remember when we did the first trailer reaction, the first thing Clarissa and I had ever seen from Wheel of Time was our trailer reaction to the show. And I was like, God, the design for the fade thing is so cool.
Yeah.
And now that I'm reading the book, I'm like, where did it come from?
Yeah,
I would love to know
yeah.
because it's so completely unrelated to the concept on from the book.
Yeah.
Like, the fades on the show seem entirely divorced from what a fade is in the books.
Yeah, but I still really like the design. And I always find it a really interesting choice where things that don't look like they should have human speech are able to talk. You know, right? It's like, it's very, like, unsettling. And so I have a feeling it's going to be something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. I just want to know what the thinking was. I would love to, like, speak to whoever designed them and be like, why did you go with this? And, like, what was the inspiration? What about what you saw in the books was what made you want to make them this way? And I'm just curious about that, right? Like, I don't dislike the fades in the show. I think they're really cool. I think it's a striking design, and that first trailer really popped because of them.
Yeah.
I would just be curious.
Yeah.
For show fades have lips, they just scream a lot. I mean, Lanfear, that is true.
Yeah, I
although Lanfear said it, so it might be a lie.
That's fair. James says they remind them of the mouth of Sauron, which I kind of get as well.
1,000%.
But that's what I mean. Like, if they're going to make it, like, really unnatural and when they speak, because they're going to have to speak, right? Like,
they talk so much in the books.
Yeah. Almost every time they show up. Not every time, but, like, almost every time.
No.
I don't know. I think they're going to do something with it. But, yeah, it's an interesting choice.
Yeah. And I don't want to lose this scene because it's so cool. He's like... The Fade is literally giving him the exact opposite orders from Niall. And I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. Like, this is...
Like, what the hell are you going to do?
I don't even want it to cut back to our heroes. I just want to follow this story. And I was like, I hope that the beginning of the book is just this.
Well, and then Madrill's like, I'm going to kill one person for every month.
Yeah, that you don't kill Rand.
And I was like, okay.
The White Cloaks are finally interesting to me.
Yeah.
I have not given a crap about them. I said last book... Every time Bornhold showed up, I didn't give it crap.
Yeah.
I just didn't care at all. And now I'm so glad that we have the backstory in the Bornhold stuff. And I'm like, I totally accept the Bornhold stuff because the White Cloaks are now utterly fascinating to me. They are filled out with, there's complexity in what's going on within them. Their internal structure makes a little bit more sense. There's a conflict in the leader of the army versus the Dark One in this. Like, in one prologue, where we are introduced to a bunch of characters in a bunch of new places. In this one prologue, the White Cloaks went from utterly unimportant to me to maybe the most fascinating thing we read this week.
Yeah.
This prologue is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this was my favorite opening to a book so far.
Of the three?
Yeah.
Me as well.
Of the three, yeah. So I can't do math. We're on book 4. No, we're not.
Not yet. We will be.
Not yet. Yeah. This is my favorite opening for sure.
Yeah, I loved it. So, anything else from the prologue we need to talk about before we move on?
No, basically the fate is like one.
The Madril breaks his arm.
Oh yeah, just does not give a crap.
Yeah. So off we go, y'all. It's 30 minutes into the podcast. Remember I said maybe this won't be 2.5 hours?
Yeah, I do remember that. I was present.
I love talking about these books, you guys. I love reading these books. They're very good. Chapter 1. I call this chapter Perrin Waits. Chapter 1 is Perrin is going to stand on a hill and think about things that happened in the past books so that we can catch the audience up in case it's been a while since they read them.
Thank you, Perrin. We appreciate you doing the Lord's work.
They're in the Mountains of Mist. Mm-hmm. That's not a Lord of the Rings reference. They are, and Perrin is really actively trying to push the wolf away. Like, a lot of the dialogue for the next 9 chapters of the book is Perrin going, I'm shutting them out.
He's like, no. I just imagine, you're not my dad. Like the little kid.
From the Batman?
Is that what it's from? I don't even know.
I mean, it's from a lot of things, but there's definitely Batman does go to Alfred in that movie and go, you're not my dad.
No. I mean, like, there's like a literal like meme of this kid, like, you're not my dad, and that's how he says it or something. But like, that's what I picture Perrin just being like with the wolves. He's like, leave me alone. Like
Albino says Perrin is doing the last week on the Wheel of Time. Exactly.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
And the funny thing is we get another one of these chapters later when we go to a new location.
I love it. I love that.
We
for
need
us.
Egwene's version of last week on the Wheel of Time.
Exactly. You gotta have a full picture.
They're waiting for women because Moiraine. So I guess Moiraine is like sending out messages to women to come tell her things. And
She's
so
got a network of spies.
Moiraine just has a bunch of women dangerously riding solo through the mountains.
Yeah. She is basically Varys from Game of Thrones.
Oh, these are her little spiders?
Yeah.
So a tinker comes and Perrin's like, is that a tinker? And everyone's like, yeah. I guess.
Oh, I see bright colors.
The Tuatha'an.
Tuatha'an.
And I wrote, she and Perrin bicker about violence.
Yes.
So we meet Leia. Layla. Not Leia.
Leia.
Is it Leia?
Yeah.
All right, so Princess Leia arrives.
Yeah.
To tell Moiraine that Rand is her only hope.
Jesus Christ. Oh, God.
So Leia is we finally kind of understand where the wife from the show comes from. It feels very rooted in this character.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that now that we've kind of met her?
I don't understand how they took this and made it Perrin murders his wife by accident.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. But I did find this interesting in the book. Yeah, in relation to the show, I'm like,
Berserker says, now General Leia, true, but she'll always be royalty to me.
Your favorite Disney princess?
I without a doubt.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know. That...
You have another favorite Disney princess?
Let's move on. Perrin,
Wait, I need to know who it is.
I'll tell you later. So Leia is...
Is it Han? Is it Han Solo?
Yeah, it's Han Solo.
Okay.
No, it's Luke Skywalker. He's a bit of a princess in that first movie. I was going to Tashi Station to buy some power converters. So Leia begins this trend in these opening chapters of characters looking at Perrin and going, hey, you don't like your axe.
I'm like, how do all of these people keep rolling nat 20s on their insight? Like, I don't even know how I would look at someone and be like, yeah, you don't like your axe.
And it happens like 4 times in these chapters. I'm
Maybe
like,
she's
everyone
projecting.
is so perceptive.
Maybe she's projecting. You know, she's Tuatha'an.
No, because he doesn't, right? And what's so funny is that everybody's right.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to me that I was like, the first time it happened, I was like, oh wow, she's very perceptive. And then like the third time it happened, I was like, is he like, does he have it written on his forehead? Like, is he wearing a shirt that says,
like
ask
it.
me about my axe? Like,
ask me about my axe?
But it says, axe me about my axe.
Oh my god.
New shirt. Coming soon to the merch store.
I'm writing that down. Ask me about my axe. Steak, thank you so much for that super chat.
Steak, thanks so much. Is Ariel your favorite Disney princess? Ariel is not a Disney princess, because
I'm right here.
of a website she's on.
That's true. Disney, mm-hmm.
I wanted to bring up, Leia in this conversation brings up a really great line, and I wanted to bring it up. She says, it is possible to oppose evil without doing violence. Do you believe that?
In some circumstances, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I absolutely think that. In a medieval world where everyone's murdering each other with swords and magic, maybe not.
I think even now, I don't think it has to be medieval. I think that and this is my opinion on the Tuatha'an, right? And why I can't relate to them, is that there is a point where evil crosses a line and justified violence in return is absolutely appropriate, right?
Especially in like the protection of others.
Yeah, and so, I think that, there's the quote, like, the only thing necessary for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. And sometimes peace is that nothing. Sometimes a lack of violence is that nothing. And I think that if Perrin didn't pick up his axe in the attack that we're about to talk about, and the wolves didn't attack, and they just let the Madral and the Trollocs come in and murder them all in their sleep.
Oh, the series is over.
You know, like, and the world ends, right? Yeah. And I think that there's an understandable reaction to meeting violence with violence that is appropriate.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can't just let people who are willing to be violent do whatever they want because you want. And you know, I just fundamentally disagree with the Tinker's beliefs, right? But
yeah, it's tough because it's one of those things where there's absolutely a lot that you can do to oppose violence without being violent. You know, like they're up until a certain point.
Oh,
and I think that's what's tough is that just believing something blindly and wholeheartedly to the ends of the earth doesn't actually help anybody.
Yeah. Eshan Daru brings up an interesting point. Their ability to follow the way of the leaf is dependent upon protection derived from the violence of others. 1,000%, right?
Yeah.
Like you are only able to be pacifist because they are for the most part living in countries where there are guards, where there are other people who are stopping people from being bad, right?
Yeah.
It becomes difficult if you are in a place where that is not the case to just say, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, and I just, yeah, it's tough. We talked at the 2 episodes ago, we really had a discussion about whether or not Rand had made his decision. Is he the Dragon Reborn? And this chapter ends with, welcome to the camp of the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
Did you get crazy Percy Jackson vibes like I did?
Like Camp Half-Blood?
Yeah. He said that line. He was like, welcome to the camp of the Dragon Reborn. And I was like, Camp Half-Blood? Can I just say, there is no place on earth I wanted to be more when I was a kid than Camp Half-Blood, even more than Hogwarts, because Hogwarts was school, and I hated school. I did. I loved Harry Potter. I hated school. But Camp Half-Blood, where like a centaur taught me how to do like parkour and sword fighting, and
I mean, you're still learning.
Yeah, but it's like in the woods. It's like summer camp all the time. Do you know how much I loved summer camp?
All right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll take class if it's like outside under an oak tree with a centaur musing about the powers of the gods. Like, that sounds dope. I wanted to go to Camp Half-Blood so bad. So I flashbacked so hard. And I got to the end of this chapter. And I just kind of like closed the book for a minute and just like remembered the Percy Jackson series. It was nice.
Yeah, except this is not Camp Half-Blood. It's actually a very dangerous place to be.
Oh, yeah. No, the next chapter ruined that dream.
Yeah. That dream was shattered. I also just love, like, I love how, is it Mazima? I think his name is just like so like ready to like fall on his sword for Rand.
Like, Massima is like
he's got the hots for Rand. Like
Massima reminds me of any conversation I've ever had with someone who loves BTS. Do you know what I mean?
I don't really know many people who listen to BTS, but I'm gonna trust you on that.
Massima stands Rand almost as hard as BTS stand those boys.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Almost. Not quite.
Gotcha.
Don't get me wrong. The BTS army scares me way more than anybody in the Wheel of Time. I would bare hand fight 2 Murdrals before I would go toe to toe with anyone from the BTS army.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
But
same.
Yeah, they're frightening. Do not cross them. Your career in social media will be over.
They're terrifying.
They're scurry, okay? But yeah, Massima's on it. Massima has drunk the Rand juice.
Yes, yeah. Drinking the Kool-Aid. Along with most of the people in the camp, honestly.
There's actually an interesting point in the chat here that scrolled up a little bit, but I want to bring it up. David McGarry says, centaurs have 6 limbs. He said legs, but they have 6 limbs. So technically, does that make them insects? Yes.
No.
Within the way that we classify things, it actually does. Here's the reason. Classifications are stupid, and we do our best. But yes, technically, having 6 limbs makes it an insect.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. Do you think that we'll see centaurs in this at some point?
No.
I would have said no before
them.
the Sanshin stuff, but the Sanshin introduced a bunch of weird stuff into the world, so...
Yeah, but they're kind of like creative and like made up. I don't think centaurs exist in this one.
So we're on chapter 2. Perrin, Loyal, and Min refresh the reader on the world.
Thank you for that.
They sit at a campfire and remind us of things. We get a good description of Min again. We get another description of the steading.
Yep. God, I love Min.
And Min watches Leia. Leia, they get to the camp and Leia's like, I have to go see Moiraine right now. Mm-hmm. And it seems like no matter how hungry these women are when they show up, no matter how hurt, no matter what is wrong with them,
it's always like vital information.
Do you think that Moiraine has put a spell on them or something? Do you think that it is an unnatural need to talk to her, or do you think that it is just...
I don't know. When I was first reading this chapter, I would have said no. But then getting later into the books, where Loyal and Perrin just do everything for Moiraine, even though Perrin's like, no, and tries to like fight it, it does seem like weirdly connected in a way. I don't know. It kind of makes me uncomfortable.
The aura of influence around Moiraine, if it is unnatural, feels icky.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just let them eat, but the information can't be so important that they can't like put shoes on.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's on purpose, because maybe Moiraine just has that effect on people.
Yeah.
But it does kind of, yeah.
Yeah. It felt weird to me as well.
Yeah.
And it feels weird to Perrin, right? And I think that it feels weird to us partially because the point of view character through which we're watching this is a little bit uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
And so it clouds our perspective on what is happening because it is also our character's perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
But before she can get into the hut, Min reads her and is like, yo, she's gonna die.
Yep.
That girl?
She dead.
She dead.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then we find out, she just scraped her eye when... What is that when Rand goes a little... Rand gets a little feisty.
Yeah, so we find out that Rand has been arguing with Moiraine night and day.
Yeah.
Unsurprising. Rand...
I'm not shocked at all.
Rand is losing it and wants to help people before he fully loses it. I'd be in the same boat too. I'd be like, Moiraine, what are we doing?
I know.
What are we doing? Like, I have a limited amount of time to be a good dragon, and then I'm gonna be a bad dragon. Bad dragon. Baddragon.com. And I need to be proactive with the time that I have before I completely lose my mind.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Why are we spending weeks here?
One, he's like, he is losing more and more of himself. Like, he is
100%, yeah.
losing control, and we don't get anything from his perspective, but he is a very different person in this book than he was last book.
100%. Just before we move on from that, if you are under the age of 18, I don't know why you're watching our show. This is a show for adults, but if you are under the age of 18, don't go to baddragon.com. That's a joke from our Twitch chat. Don't do it. I'm trusting you not to. You're going to do it anyway, aren't you? Because that's what I would have done when I was your age.
You would be that person. Uh-huh.
Everyone is that person. Come on, you're all curious. When you're like 16, you're curious about the internet. You're like typing random stuff in.
You're like, where am I not supposed to go? Yeah.
I used to type in random websites just to see if they existed.
You had too much time on your hands.
Yeah. I didn't go to school. Rand... we see Rand leave Moiraine's tent, and he takes off to his Fortress of Solitude. Because...
Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah, well, because he has like this like path through the rocks to his own like little spot.
Yeah, where he can be Sag.
And Perrin joins him and is like, "Yo, dude, you gotta chill out, man."
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and Perrin's like kind of the only one that can talk to him. I have to say though, I'm like so frustrated in these books with the like oh my god, there's definitely some like gender stereotypes that are like pretty strong
in these books. No.
And like one of them being is that men refuse to talk about their feelings even if they're sharing similar experiences. Rand, Perrin, very similar things are happening to each of them.
Look, I'm just gonna say that's not what bros do. You go and you blow up a mountain together. And you don't talk about it. You just blow up a mountain. In the real world, we use dynamite.
I hate it.
In the books, they channel.
I hate it. It pisses me off so much. I'm like, just speak to one another. Anyways.
Let's be honest, though. I've never had a feeling. You've never seen me have a feeling.
Never.
I don't cry.
Yeah.
On video.
Never.
Perrin is trying to talk some sense into Rand, and Rand is like, it's happening! It's happening!
Yeah, literally.
I can't stop it! And he just shakes the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, oh, I channeled and I had to do something,
You
so...
You know what, though? It's interesting that because we're not seeing it from Rand's perspective, we didn't get, like, three paragraphs about the void first.
Right. Trying to touch the void and then getting to the void and then, like, trying to leave the void and, like, where is the power and how the taint feels and the, like, sickliness of it. Yeah. We missed that page.
We did. So. He did talk about the taint, which is interesting.
He did, yes.
But yeah, Rand blows up a little bit here. Literally. And shakes him out. And I thought it was like he shook like near him and Perrin. But then when Perrin goes back to town, they're like, oh, is everyone okay? Leia fell and like cut her head open. Some of the huts have collapsed.
Just casual. I'm like, oh, if the dragon did it, it must be for a reason. Everything's fine.
Monkey, thank you for signing back up for the Nargs. Appreciate
Monkey,
that.
thank you for becoming a Narg.
So yeah, Rand goes to bed because he doesn't want to deal with people. He's also built his hut way away from everyone because he's like, they look at me because I'm the dragon, and I have voices in my head. And we get the first chapter where this book, up until now, this book has been fun and like we're back in the world. It's good to be reading Wheel of Time. Guys, things go crazy.
Yeah.
Everything is about to go off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
At a campfire chat, Moiraine warns everyone to like be ready because Rand channeled hard. They probably know where we are. Things might get bad tonight.
Yeah.
And people are like, all right, we're on it. It's
weird that her wards never go off. Like.
Well, no, but she can only have so many wards up. Yeah. So she has different. That's not what she's warding against right now for some reason. And I think that what she's actually warding against is Rand. I think that it's implied that she can't have all these wards up because they cancel each other out, right? And so I think that she is actually warded against Rand hurting people.
Oh no, I mean like in the chapters ahead, like the Trollocs just arrive.
No, that's literally what I mean though. I think that like she doesn't have anti-Trolloc wards up because she has she has other wards up to protect them from what's going on in the camp. Or she has wards up that are drawing these women to her. So I because she says like she can't have all the wards up, it will cancel each other out, like they won't all work. And so I'm pretty sure that like she has other things going on around the camp that stop her from putting up anti-Trolloc wards.
Yeah, I just figured she would know if like something came near, but yeah.
Well, you would think Lan would, right? Because Lan is supposed to be able to detect the dark people and Trollocs and stuff. And so I don't like, because in the first book, Lan was able to like feel Trollocs, right? And fades. It doesn't seem like he can anymore.
Well, he is the first one out when Perrin leaves his... You know what? We're not quite there yet. Perrin has a dream first, so...
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. Perrin's dreams. So Perrin has a couple of dreams. First, who's the first guy in the first dream?
I thought it was Balsamon.
Really? I think it's Ishamael. I think that this was our first look, because I think Baalzamon's dead. I believe that Baalzamon is dead, and that we're moving on to Ishamael. So, because he didn't have the fire eyes, so I think that this is like a new Forsaken.
I was kind of on the train of thought that like Baalzamon and Ishamael were the same.
No, because isn't it like Dark One, right? Top, and then Ishamael, and then Lanfear and Baalzamon are like the number 3 spot, but they're like dueling it out for number 3. And then the other Forsaken are below them, right?
I don't
Because I think Ishamael, I do not think Ishamael and Baalzamon are the same person.
There was like something in the last book that made me think that maybe they were the same person, but I don't know. I thought it was Baalzamon / Ishamael like trying a different tactic. Because we talked several times about how like he tries the same tactic with Rand a bunch of times and it doesn't work. And so I thought maybe he was like learning.
But here's the thing. Ba'alzamon never tried a different tactic. And this is a different tactic, right? With Perrin. So he's literally like, puts on the axe. Go be a blacksmith. What are you doing? Come on, man. You don't want to fight. I can see you don't want to fight. You wanna build stuff. You want to help people. You go be a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Come on. What are you doing? What's with the axe? That's not a Ba'alzamon tactic. We've never seen him do that. And this guy doesn't look like Ba'alzamon, and he doesn't behave like Ba'alzamon ever has. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't walk like a duck, and it doesn't talk like a duck, and it doesn't look like a duck. Hey!
Jelba, thank you so much for becoming a Narg.
Some spoilers just dropped. Thank you for everyone getting those spoilers out of the chat.
Thank you.
And Jennabelle, thank you so much.
Welcome to the
joining the
nerd table. Yeah, I don't know. I felt like they were the same person when I was reading this, and that he was trying a new tactic finally after 2 books of doing the same thing.
But we literally saw here's my problem with that. If Ba'alzamon isn't dead, then what was the point of the battle in the sky? What was the point of the sheathing the sword? You know what I mean? Like, why did we do all of that? If there's no value in Rand winning ever because it doesn't affect anything, and every single time we see them fight, nothing happens. They just keep doing the same fight over and over again. Mm-hmm. I find that to be kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like, if Ba'alzamon just keeps showing up and Rand keeps almost dying to kill him, and we just kind of go in a circle with this one character over and over and over again, versus, okay, Ba'alzamon's dead. Rand did that. Now there's a harder villain ahead of him, and that same tactic isn't going to work again. I think that's just a more compelling story to me.
To me, it feels like Rand is not actually powerful enough yet to, like, deal a death blow to any of the, like...
But he killed Agentor in the first book.
I mean, yeah, but they were like weak sauce. You know what I mean?
We don't know what the power differences are between... You are completely
They weren't Ba'alzamon,
assuming.
so... They weren't Ba'alzamon. I don't know. To me, it just seems like Rand is able to at least, like, do some damage to them, but does not have the power to, like, fully, like, kill Ba'alzamon. So I don't know.
But if that doesn't kill Ba'alzamon, what does? Like, you literally, like, sheath the sword.
The sword. That's not a sword.
Kalandor? Or no, not Kalandor. Yeah, Kalandor.
Yeah.
The fact that the guy in the opening chapter's name is, what is it? It's
like Karen...
Karadin?
Karadin.
Karadin and Kalandor they're too close for my brain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the idea that there's 13 Forsaken. We've killed a few of them. But, like, we can meet new villains. We don't just... This cycle of dreams about Ba'alzamon over and over and over again, it's just the same thing. And this one felt very different. Obviously, like, his tactic of, like, trying to talk Perrin out of violence. Not trying, being like, I'm going to own you. I am the controller of the dead. You know, he didn't use Ba'alzamon's tactics. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't look like him. He doesn't have the physical characteristics. So I don't know. I'd be surprised if they were the same thing.
All right.
So,
I don't know. When I was reading it, that's where my brain was.
Why did you go to Ba'alzamon, though? Like, what about it was like, oh, this is like that character?
Because we know that he's the one who, like, because he's able to, like, control, like, dreams in this, like, dream world.
So you're assuming that but Lanfear does it in the next scene. So
she
obviously
doesn't control it. No.
Well, but she does as much as Ba'alzamon, or as she does as much as the first guy does. She just talks to Perrin in his dreams.
Well, no, but then, like, Lanfear later is like, you're not supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like...
No, okay, but this is important. This time is Rand's dream. This is, so right now we're in Rand's dream that Rand is projecting onto the camp, right? The second set of dreams we're going to talk about, Perrin is dream walking because he's a wolf brother, and he's getting into places in the dream world that he's not supposed to be because he has wolf powers. But this first time is specifically not Perrin's dream. This is Rand is projecting his dreams onto the camp. It's why the camp is all having the same dreams. And so Perrin is in the dream world that Rand has been pulled into, and so they're ready for him. Whereas the next time, the wolf in him allows him to walk dreams, and he gets into a dream world that Lanfear is not ready for him to be in, right? And so the distinction between those two things is really important here, I think. And I think later on it's going to be really important. because they set up this whole opening section of this book with Perrin is to set up that Perrin is more scared of being a wolf brother than ever before, obviously, with the later guy who's like completely lost it. And being a wolf brother means that Perrin can dream walk. And I think that Perrin is going to be fighting the Forsaken in the dream world like crazy, right? Because he can get at them in a place where usually they can get at Rand.
Okay.
You seem... What's going on?
I don't know. That, like, I get the, like, later dream stuff that he, like, invaded in, but I don't know. I feel like the person from the first dream, it just seemed like Balsamon to me. Especially because,
that's fine. I'm not disagreeing with you there. I'm just...
Yeah.
I mean, I am disagreeing with you. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying that...
Who do you think it is?
I think it's Ishamael. I think that was our introduction to our new villain.
Because you don't think that they're the same person.
I don't think they're the same person, no.
Okay. All right. I feel like I'm going to have to go back and I find what it was in book 2 that made me be like, oh, they're the same. Because I can't, like, remember what it was. I'm just, like, remembering that, like, I put those pieces together for some reason, and now I'm like, well... Now I don't know.
So chat keeps bringing up that y'all got screwed by daylight savings time. I'm so sorry. Yes, we are an hour into the show. If you are in Europe, but good news: the United States Senate just voted to get rid of daylight savings time, so it might happen soon.
That would be nice. Yeah, we hate daylight savings time as much as you do, so I apologize.
Next time. Because this is going to happen at least 2 more times before we get to the end of Wheel of Time. We will remind people in advance. Sorry about that, y'all.
Yeah.
So Perrin leaves their dream with either Ishamael or Ba'alzamon, depending on who's right, or both of us are right, and I'm just wrong about them not being the same character. And he walks into Lanfear's dream, and so...
Literally, like, last book, you were like, yeah, I think Lanfear's going to, like, switch over to Perrin.
Well, no, I had talked about how I think that in order to condense the books... that we're going to see Lanfear, a lot of the Selene stuff is going to happen to Perrin and not Rand.
Yeah.
Because I think that Rand isn't going to go on the same journey that he went on. And so because of that, I think that there were a lot of people in our chat being like, that would never work. Perrin and Selene won't interact. But then we literally see Lanfear and Perrin interact now, and she's like trying to be seductive, and Perrin's like, oh my god, this lady is so hot. Oh my god. Breasts. So I was like, this is how they could do the Selene stuff from the books in the show, but move it over to Perrin. And they literally show us, like, almost immediately in this book.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And then he gets out of this, not a lot happens. She just is, like, hot. And Perrin's like, oh my god, hot lady.
Yeah.
And then Perrin is suddenly on a bunch of bridges. And he can see these 3 men speaking on the bridge. And... I think that this is the Ways.
You think it's the Ways?
Yeah, because I think he has seen the Ways as it used to be.
Interesting.
Because okay, so here's my thought, okay? So it's a bunch of bridges. We know that the Ways is a bunch of bridges between islands.
Yeah.
So I think that this third part of this dream is what the Ways looked like without Machin Shin there.
Yeah. So maybe the way that the Ways work are by utilizing this, like, dream world. Like, maybe they are, like, actually connected.
No, I'm saying the Ways exist, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that in the dream world version of the Ways, Machin Shin doesn't exist, so that darkness isn't there. Because Machin Shin is only in the real world version. So I think that Perrin has seen these bridges, and he's seen what the Ways look like without the darkness of Machin Shin over the Ways.
Right.
And so that's why because they said this, like, series of bridges, and I was like, oh, that sounds like the way the Ways were described, but without because they literally said, like, you can't see more than, like, a foot in front of you, right? And so without the darkness in the Ways, I think that this is what it would look like. You would just look around and you would just see bridges to different islands.
Yeah, okay. I didn't think about that. I thought it was just some, like, weird, like, dream world.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is where the Forsaken are trapped.
I just don't think they would be in, like, a random place with just a bunch of bridges. Like, it feels like everything... so far, all of the dream worlds have been rooted in real worldy places.
Yeah.
And so the only other time we've really talked about series of bridges in these books is the ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is just, and honestly, this might be a location that never comes up again. It might not be important. It was just interesting to me that we had these interconnecting bridges.
Well, no, because it's very, like, reminiscent of, and, like, I didn't catch on to it, but as soon as you say that, I'm like, oh, yeah, that, like, I wonder if there will be some kind of connection there, or, yeah, if it's just kind of, like, coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who do you think the three Forsaken are?
I don't know but most of their names.
Me neither.
So I'm like, I don't know.
One of them is a Shamael or Balsamon or whatever, right?
Yeah. The guy with the white lace black coat.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like there's these other two that were like fighting. And then Lanfear's also there. Yeah, it was very strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen to our mods. I don't know what's happening. Listen to the mods. And then Perrin is suddenly in this big hall, and who's there? No one, but there is a sword. There is a shining sword that isn't a sword.
Yeah.
And we see for the first time, unless you have the old cover of the book, in which case you saw it on the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Kalandor, the sword. I'm assuming that this is the Excalibur of these books.
Yeah, I definitely thought the sword that's not a sword was going to be more metaphorical than literally like a sword that's like kind of glass. So that's fine, I guess. But yeah, it's Excalibur. It's the like, it's the item that needs to be gotten to win the thing. Like that's.
No, it's the item that needs to be gotten to be the final proof that I don't think he fights with it. I think that he touches it, and then that is the proof that he's a dragon.
Oh, I thought there was something about using the sword that's not a sword to, like, defeat the Dark One or something in one of the prophecies.
That might be something. That might be part of it, too.
Yeah, there's so many prophecies.
There's so many prophecies. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So Kalandor, but specifically the reason I'm talking about the Excalibur thing is that it is the evidence of him actually being the dragon reborn, that when he wields the sword that isn't a sword, that's proof.
And Maureen is like, not gonna happen. Those people do not like channelers. It's illegal.
It's bad.
Yeah, he's screwed.
And so when he can pull the sword out of whatever, he will announce himself as the Dragon Reborn, much like if Excalibur is pulled from the stone.
It's King Arthur, yeah.
And then the wolves show up and they're like, yo, dude, the Madral are here. And he's like, whoa, this is a weird dream.
Because the wolf shows up and is like, danger, murder.
And the wolves are like, I love that Perrin's like, God, wow, this dream's so crazy. Suddenly there's wolves.
Yeah.
And the wolves are like, no, dude, no.
Dude.
Ignore that.
Yeah.
Bad thing
right now. Wake the fuck up.
So he does. So he wakes up and he's like, yo, we gotta go.
Yeah. And then we get like
Chapter 5.
One of the coolest battle scenes, honestly, I think I've ever read.
It was great.
Had chills. Like reading this part, I was like, there's when we were in the car together and I was like, oh my God. It's like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes. This whole Perrin Wolf Brother thing is, I love that we're like finally really getting into it.
Yeah.
I know we had Elias and we were able to get into it a little bit earlier, other than like the show where it's like.
But this is the first time it's POV, right? Like the Elias stuff was fun, but we didn't get inside of Elias's head. And so the more we dive into it in Perrin's head, the more interesting it is. Also, the fact that wolves are dreamwalkers is so cool to me. Like, as a concept, I love that so much.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that Perrin is like, I'm young bull, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, Perrin, go. Like, oh, it was so good.
The Missinger, Neverborn is the best alternate Murdral name.
Neverborn? Yeah.
Neverborn. I do wonder, though, like, what makes them Neverborn?
I mean, I guess
Are they
like,
made?
They must be, like, created somehow.
But isn't that kind of being born?
I don't know. I think that's... Yes, but no. Like, because here's the thing. If it's from the wolves' perspective, right?
Yeah.
These things just spring up. They're not born as, like, pups and, like, grow up. So,
just, like, pop out of the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Urukai.
I love it.
So Perrin just starts fighting. Perrin picks up his axe.
Yeah.
Despite the reticence regarding his weapon earlier on, he is ready to go. And he is immediately beset upon by a Fade. Or no, a Trolloc. He sees a Trolloc going for Leia.
Yeah.
And so he, like, takes that thing out. Oh, man. Hack and slash.
Not today.
Not today. But then a Myrddraal jumps off of a roof, which gave me, like, real Batman vibes, where sometimes when I'm watching Batman stuff, I'm like, why did you climb up there?
Yay.
Like, what was the purpose of spending the time to get up there? And I was like, why did the Myrddraal get on the roof? Was he like, it'll be so... Oh, my God, guys. When they're making a television show about this... No. This is what he was thinking. He was going, when they make a television show about this, there is going to be a trailer for season 3 where I jump off of a roof and I'm going to look so cool. It will be the last thing I do.
That's exactly what the Myrddraal was thinking.
88
Crux, thank you so much for the super duper chat.
I love that you added an R in there. I love your theories and discussion of my favorite book series. I can't wait until you get to my favorite scenes in the series. They're coming up in this book. 88, we are super excited as well. Super excited. This book's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Where are we at? So Myrddraal jumps down, and Leia... no, it's Layla. It's not Leia, it's Layla. I wrote Layla multiple times in my notes.
I think you're wrong. I'm pretty sure it's
Did
Leya.
I add an L?
Yeah, it's...
Leia, damn it. I literally wrote Layla. Is Layla his wife in the show?
I think so.
Weird. I don't know. I wrote it wrong every time.
Well done.
And I took the notes as I was reading, too. That makes it more concerning. Oh, wait, no. I'm dyslexic.
You don't say.
Sometimes I'm like, what was going on in my brain? And then I'm like, oh, that's right. I have a reading condition.
Words are hard. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all right.
Yeah, it's all right. So the Myrddraal, Perrin is like ready to fight this Myrddraal. And then Layla, God, I'm never gonna be able to get this right now. My brain's fried. Leia is like, I think I'm just gonna like grab the Myrddraal by the leg. And I was like, girl, what was that gonna do? What were you gonna accomplish?
You're not gonna be violent, but you're just gonna like throw your body at him, like.
Or maybe the Myrddraal was Ta'Veren, and much like we find out later, people just like get really horny when the Ta'Veren show up, and she just needed a hug. She just wanted to touch him.
Yeah. The Myrddraal is Ta'Veren.
She was actually planning on marrying him. I don't know if you know this. Leia was gonna marry that Fade.
Yeah, I missed that one.
I shouldn't make jokes because she immediately dies.
Yeah, she's just like not like just a flick of the wrist and she's dead. I was like, oh wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah, it feels like this is where they got his like dead wife from in the show, and
it does feel like this is the inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's this big Trolloc fight, and like he thinks that like he could have like it's his fault. And...
I think the dead wife storyline in the show would have worked better though if she had died saving him, not him literally killing her.
Yeah.
Right? The only injury she gets in the show is his blade, whereas I feel like if a Fade had killed her because she was protecting him and he got away because of it, I just think it would be I think it would work more. It would be more like this moment.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, but then the wolves show up.
Well, no, before that.
Oh.
Before that, Perrin sees Leia die.
Yes.
And he opens that tap. Whatever is holding the wolves off.
Yeah.
And he goes full wolf, so much so that he looks up at the Fade with his wolf eyes, and the Fade literally is like, I messed up.
I made the mistake.
I need an adult.
Yeah.
And Perrin kills a Fade.
Yeah. Like a boss.
The only characters I think we've seen kill Fades at this point are Lan. I think Lan is the only one we know who's killed the Fade. And Perrin literally... Oh, and
Tom... No. Tom killed it.
The Fade got away. It ran away.
Yeah.
Perrin kills a Fade. And, like, brute strength kills. Like, not like magic, not anything. Yeah. He just gets real mad.
And Lan is like, good job, sheep herder. Like...
And much like the Hulk, he is no longer Perrin. He is young Bolt.
And the wolves show up, and they just start ripping everybody to shreds. And
Perry Wolf says Ingtar killed a Fade. You are right. Ingtar did kill a Fade. I miss Ingtar. Y'all, I'm still sad about that. I like Ingtar a lot.
No, it was a great storyline.
Ingtar was such a good character. I think Ingtar might be my favorite character in these books right now. Only because his story's done. Like, so we have like the full arc of his story.
That's fair, yeah.
And I just loved him. I loved him so much. Yeah. Because the gates are open and the wolves arrive and we get this just like crazy action sequence where the wolves are fighting in little packs. Young Bull joins one of those little packs, and the Shinarans are just like watching. Can you imagine like these Trollocs?
Naked Shinarans, like.
Well, but like these Trollocs show up, right? And there's fades, and you're under attack, and then out of nowhere, just like wolves come out of nowhere and start killing all your enemies.
Yeah, and you're like, what? Like who are you?
Yeah, very cool. Like it's so cool. I really loved it.
Yeah. I loved
this scene. Will not be in the show.
No. Too expensive.
Cut.
Too expensive for the show.
Honestly, a lot of Perrin's Wolf Brother stuff is going to be cut because wolves are expensive.
Yeah.
As Game of Thrones learned. Like, if Game of Thrones didn't have enough of a budget to make wolves happen occasionally, there's just no way.
Well, that's why most of the wolves are not even... Like, Ghost disappears.
Because they couldn't afford it. It was too expensive, yeah.
Well, thank you for the super chat.
Apparently, chapter 25... Wait, no, that would be 28. 28, apparently, is the best chapter in this book. Or the best character.
Best character. I'm excited.
So the wolves arrive and save the day. Loyal's out there crushing it. He's got his quarterstaff, and Loyal, it literally is like no Trolloc can get near him. He's just like...
It's that reach. That's why you never... That's why you never reverse grip, because that reach is very important. Because you can keep your enemies at a distance. Thank you, Loyal.
Technically, you can't reverse grip a quarterstaff.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying you can't reverse grip. Just so that we don't get any comments about it. You can't technically reverse grip a quarterstaff. I guess if you held at one end, no.
It'd be weird.
No, but then you would still have crazy reach.
Yeah.
If you could wield a quarterstaff from the end,
it'd be so heavy. Your wrist strength.
So Loyal's crushing it. They win. Obviously.
Oh yeah.
Lan's crushing it.
They take losses for sure.
No, they don't.
What?
There is not a single named character except Leia.
Not a named character, but there's a lot of like dead.
How many Shinarans are with them though? I thought there was like 12 of them.
Italian? I don't know.
Like I thought there was like 12 people on the last book, and now it's enough.
No, I think there's like 100.
Okay, that makes more sense because I was like, did a lot of people just die, or did like 4 people die? The one thing I will say about this fight is I have no concept of what losses they suffered or how many people were in the camp of the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
Because there could have been 20 people there. There could have been 500. I have no idea in my brain because the book isn't specific about it.
Yeah.
And so maybe people died. Like maybe a lot of people died. Maybe a few did. It's unspecific.
Yeah.
But what I love about it, and what is my favorite Perrin moment so far in the entire series, is that they want to skin the wolves and use their fur. And
he's like, no!
And he's like, no, they fought with us. We will bury them with honor.
I know. I was like...
It's like, Perrin, you're a good dude.
Perrin is a good dude.
Perrin is a good dude.
Boy.
They say there are more Shinarans dead than are left alive. I don't know what that means, though, because I don't know how many are left alive, right?
Yeah, like, we just don't know how, like, large this, like, camp is. That's all. In terms of scale, we don't have a lot to go off of.
Yeah, because, like, if it's, like, I don't know if it's, like, well, there were 50 of us, 30 of us died, and 20 of us are left. Or there were 300 of us, 200 of us died, and 100 are left.
Yeah.
And in the show, there's going to be 9 of them. No, this scene's cut. There's no way.
Yeah.
This whole section is cut.
Yeah, Rand's just gonna channel and run away.
Well, no, but this is why they had Rand run away at the end of the finale. Everything that Rand does in book 2, not gonna happen. He's not gonna be at the Falme. He's not gonna be at Falme at all.
They're not gonna. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, no. That the Sanchin stuff is gonna happen in a different way, and I think after reading this, I'm like, oh, Rand is going to Ilion, or Rand is going to the Tier.
Oh man, yeah, maybe
they're gonna catch up with him somewhere else.
I don't know.
And they're gonna separate. Like some people are gonna go on the Rand journey, and some people are gonna go on the Horn journey. And then the Horn journey is going to be some of the book 2 stuff, and the Rand journey is going to be some of the book 3 stuff, and they're going to like intermix them into one story.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
Yeah.
And
weird.
so like you cut this scene because those wolves, man. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how you do an army of Trollocs versus an army of wolves.
Yeah.
With their
in
budget.
the dark.
Yeah.
In the dark. That's how.
It's puppets.
Amazing.
It becomes like a stop motion puppet fight that's just done really well.
That would be very funny.
Well,
actually.
and these are scenes where I'm like, make this an animated show.
I know.
You could easily, like Castlevania style, you could make this the coolest animated show possible, right? Like Wheel of Time would be one of the most amazing animated series of all time. If you gave me a budget, I could churn out an animated show that would blow you away with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My brain cannot possibly come up with how you would film this scene.
No, I don't know. Unless
No.
you had all the money in the world. Like it's wild.
So the fight ends and Perrin de-hulks. Young Bull becomes Perrin again, and he does the requisite, checking in with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Min, she's okay.
She got a
but
scratch.
All of her weapons are blooded and furred. So Min was doing stuff. We didn't see it, but Min was doing stuff.
I love Min. I want more Min.
I love her so much. I was so sad when like, no, you're gonna go to Tarvalon. I was like, oh, Min's gonna disappear for like half the book.
I was like, God damn it. San, thank you so much for this.
San, thank you. If you scratch Perrin's belly, does his leg twitch? If I do it, maybe not. But if Lanfear does it, yeah.
Maybe.
I think his leg twitches when he's just near her. That third leg. So Moiraine is healing everybody. You know what I mean? She's just like using all of her strength, doing what she can. And they are like, oh crap, where's Rand? And Rand is not okay.
Yeah, Rand is really sad because he wanted to do something and all he could do was light a couple trees on fire.
Yeah, because he couldn't control his channeling, and so he was just trying desperately not to make the situation worse.
Yeah.
Which is just awesome.
It's like, I'm just going to bring down the mountain. And he's like, nope, can't do that. So just burn the trees.
This moment with Rand is so cool.
It's heartbreaking.
Well, yeah. And cool in terms of, like, the way it's written.
Yeah.
Obviously tragic and, like, so hard to read. But Rand being a character who has all the power in the world and can't even help his friends when they're dying because he has no control over it is just utterly fascinating. Yeah. And the way that Robert Jordan writes it is so relatable. And it's an experience that I could never relate to. And yet, because of the way that Robert Jordan has written it, I feel like I'm there with it. I totally get what Rand's going through, and it is just on the strength of Robert Jordan's writing, 100%. It is so well done. It is so impressive, and I just this chapter was maybe the best chapter so far, and I said that about the prologue as well. This book is better than the last two in terms of writing. I think Robert Jordan has stepped up the quality of the writing, and I already love the quality of the writing.
Yeah.
But there are little things he's doing here in terms of the emotionality of the character that hit a little bit harder, and they feel a little bit more connected. And I'm so invested now, and like I've been invested the whole time, but like this was the first time where I started reading. I was gonna read a few chapters the other night, and then I read like 3 chapters, and I went up to Clarus, and I was like, "Hey, go to bed. I'm not going to go to bed until I'm done reading." And then 2 nights ago, I read until 3 o'clock in the morning because I literally couldn't put this book down.
Yeah.
And that's not the way this has been. Like, usually I'm like, oh, I have to read to get it done, or I'm going to do a little bit here and there, and like, I'm excited to get to the next bit, but like, I can put this down for a bit.
Yeah.
This was the first time where I read all 15 chapters straight, and there was nothing that could have stopped me.
Yeah. It was fantastic. Yeah, so poor Rand.
They find out that the wound that Baalzamon left, he didn't have to fight any Trollocs, so he's okay, but the wound that Baalzamon left on his side, it's open.
It's not healing. Moiraine can't heal it properly, and he's still recovering, and it's open, and Moiraine has to then, like, touch it up a little bit, and I mean, and then Rand runs away, and I'm like, God, well, hopefully his wound doesn't just open back up, like...
Oh, well.
Yeah. So follow the blood trail, like...
One of the other things that's touched on in this chapter for the first time is that Perrin struggled to come back from being the wolf.
Yeah.
Do you think at the end of this series, prediction time, will Perrin be in control of the wolf? Or will the final battle... I have a feeling there's going to be some sacrifices in the final battle. Will Perrin fully give himself over to the wolf within him for the final battle.
To win? No, I think Rand is going to have to end up making the grand sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
I think Perrin learns to control the Wolf Brother stuff. Because Elias clearly has, right?
I have a feeling that Perrin... I think there might be a book or two where Perrin is out of control. I think that, like, he might go
He's
full
able
wolf.
to be brought back.
Yeah, I have a feeling like there's going to be a lot of trauma in this series. I think there's going to be a point where Perrin spends a book like just like fully divorced from everyone, just living with the wolves. And that like they're going to have to go get him back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, I could see it. I think it'd be fun.
I could see that. Yeah, but I do think by the end he will have control of it.
We have to pick up our pace a little bit. We have to go a little faster. It's an hour and 20 minutes in and we've only done 5 chapters.
Yep.
Chapter 6, Rand left. Okay, chapter 7.
I mean, that's kind of it, though. Like, honestly, Rand leaves and they're like, well, fuck. And then they go after him. Like...
Yeah, they leave. Moraine sends Uno and the Shinarans to Gildan. Min to the Amerlin seat in Tarvalon.
Yep.
Because she can't send a man or else they won't get in to meet her. Which I was like...
That is so funny.
I feel like it shouldn't... or no, it's because everyone will think it's weird that Moraine sent a man, right?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And so it's political. But it's also weird that Min's going to be by herself. Like, Moraine really has a lot of faith in Min's abilities.
Yeah. And I know, like, Min is, like, bothered about it, but I'm also like, man, I don't know. Does she trust you that much? Like, that's not that bad.
And Perrin is going to the tier. And because he reveals his dreams. And the Shinarans reveal they've been having similar dreams. And how close the dreams are depends on how close their huts were to Rand's.
Yeah.
And so people who are sleeping further away from Rand got, like, murkier versions of the dream, which I was like, that's really fun.
Yeah.
So Loyal, Lan, and Moiraine are going with him. So it's just those 4. And Min reveals to Perrin, so I think this is the first person she's outright told, that she's destined to love Rand.
Yeah.
And that Egwene knows.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay.
Yeah. I love the, I love that Perrin, like, comes to this, like, conclusion that Min has, like, a crush on him, and he's like, oh, no, Min, like, I like...
Keep talking, I need to grab my phone.
Your phone? Okay. It's like, no, Min, like, I like you, but, like, no, I don't like you more than, like, he just gets so flustered, and Min is like, no, you idiot, like, well, no, she doesn't do that. She's like, I love you, Perrin. Like a brother, you moron. And I was like, well done, Min. And then, yeah, just fully kind of, like, spills that, destined to be with Rand, and can't really do much about it.
Well, and he says that she's like a sister, which is, like, just so funny to me.
No,
they're not that close.
Min says that to Perrin, because Perrin is like, you like me, and she's like, I love you like a brother, you dum-dum.
No, Perrin says she's like a sister to him. And I'm just like, they haven't known each other that long.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they've been through some shit.
That's true, they've been through some shit. But then I want to get into this. I took a picture of this.
Oh, you took a picture? I was like,
right. So Min says, I've seen things around you that you ought to know about. And Perrin's like, I've told you.
Oh, I took a picture of that too.
And yeah, and so she says, don't be more thick-headed than you have to be, Perrin. Back there, right after I said you'd go, they were not there before. They must have to do with this journey, or at least with you deciding to go.
Yeah.
What did you see, he says. An Aielman in a cage, a Tuathalan with a sword, a falcon and a hawk perching on your shoulder, both of them female.
Yeah, I don't know what the birds mean.
Well, I think that aren't the Faldarans isn't their banner a hawk?
Oh, it maybe?
One thing I'm interested in is the Aielman in a cage.
Uh-huh.
We saw that on the show already.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the dead one.
In Bree Spring, or whatever that place was called.
That random town. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just interesting that the Aielman in a cage was brought up so early on the show. A Tuatha with a sword. I think that's going to be Egwene's guy.
Egwene's guy?
Yeah, well, what was his name?
Armon?
Was it Armon?
Aron, something. It started
Something
with an
like
A.
that. I think that he, because he was
Aram, I think.
Aram, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that he was already kind of like unsure about the Tuatha'an stuff, right? Like he was the one who was like the most resistant.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, I honestly did not think he would be coming back, but maybe.
Oh, I think those Tinkerers are going to be important.
Do you think it's going to be a Tinker though? Or do you think it's going to be that the Tinkers be like, well, it's like the final battle, so it's now or never?
I don't know. It says with capital A Tuatha'an with a sword. So I feel like it's going to be the one that turns to the... I wouldn't read chat right now. I think they're spoiling.
Oh, no. It's just ship captain.
It's Bail Doman.
Always ship captain.
It's always ship captain.
No, but you're right. The Faldara is apparently a Black Hawk.
Yeah, it's Faldara's a hawk.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who could be in the show because they killed off that woman, but...
Yeah, I don't know.
But, you know, like, it could... I think that... Does Perrin also have 2 wives? Does Rand have 2 wives and Perrin has 2 wives? This shit's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, if you see the most beautiful woman you've ever met, run!
Yeah, Ealman in a cage. Do you think in the book that'll be Rand?
That was my first thought, but I don't actually know.
I feel like it'd be weird if it was Rand and she didn't know.
Yeah, I agree. So
And then, so then she also screams at him, don't go near hot women.
Yeah.
Which, I'm gonna give you some advice, chat. Don't. She's too hot. Leave her alone.
Oh my god.
I'm kidding, obviously. If I believed that, I wouldn't be married. My wife is way too hot for me.
Jesus Christ.
And Perrin's like, okay, yeah, I won't go near the hot lady. He's gonna.
Yeah.
He's gonna.
It's like, I won't go near the hot lady. Oh wait, no
It's
wait.
like
Are you telling me that because you like me? She's like, no.
No,
just
I'm saying
listen.
just like avoid hot women.
Yeah. Like, okay. You're being like real cryptic there, man.
And then Perrin is like, yeah, no. It's like in Finding Nemo when he's like, don't touch the butt. And Nemo's like, I touched the butt. That is all men with hot women when possible. Chapter 7, Leaving the Mountains. Perrin spends the ride down the mountains pissed that Moiraine wants him to do chores.
Pretty much, yeah. We learned that, like, Moiraine is really good at fishing, because obviously Swan taught her.
Of course, right?
Like, of course. Like, she shows up, she's like, oh, how do you do this? He. And then catches, like, 3 massive fish, and you're like...
Yeah, because she's pillow friends with the
Swan.
fisher lady who only speaks in fish puns still.
Yeah, literally. Like, it was so... I was like, oh my god, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, people are like, oh, they're not lesbians. And I'm like, they very clearly have a very close relationship. And if you miss that, you blind. Like,
and if she's not sleeping with Lan, she's sleeping with someone.
Yeah, she's stressed. She needs some way to, like... Yeah, no, so she shows up, she catches a bunch of fish, and, like, yeah, we get this, like, perspective of parents being like, I'm not gonna let her boss me around and do all of her stuff, and then he's like, and despite that, I still found myself doing all the things that she needed me to do. I was like, well, that seems weird.
Well, yeah, because she makes one reasonable request, and then another small reasonable request, and then suddenly...
Suddenly you're carrying all the bags.
But also, and here's my issue with Perrin here, I'm like, give Moiraine a break. She literally is using all of her strength to constantly keep everybody healed. Literally, like yesterday, she was so tired because she healed everyone that she could with the one power. Just help out.
Yeah.
Got the fish. Do you know how much effort it takes to clean a fish? It's none. And the answer to that question is it takes like 5 minutes and it is not hard. And Perrin's like, well, do you think that Moiraine knows that she should gut the fish because she caught it? And I'm like, dude, just gut the fish.
I've never gutted a fish, so I guess I can't.
I'm sorry, did Moiraine not heal the stab wound in your shoulder? Did she not put your shoulder back together after that Trolloc ripped it apart? Maybe gut the fish. Oh my god, wait, do you have to brush the horse at the end of the day? Oh no.
Pat it down. Yeah.
Moiraine kept 100 Shinarans from dying, and you're like, but she doesn't, like, brush her own horse.
Yeah, I'm like, on one hand, I'm like, I get it, but also, like, Moraine's strength is, like, better used elsewhere, so let's just
1,000%.
You know? A Clark's fish gutting stream? No. I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah, no.
I'm all right.
I don't think we would ever make content that is specifically, like, violent like that.
Well, I mean, like, if I was, like, cooking, some people, like, do that, but I don't.
Oh, yeah, in a cooking stream? Sure. I just don't think, like, a stream where the specific...
I'm just getting fit. No.
I don't know. That feels weird.
Yeah.
And then, they descend into spring. It has been a year. This marks the first year of this journey.
Yeah, this was weird to me. I was like, wait a second. I thought this had been a few months.
No, because they jump forward, right? In time, in the Great Hunt.
Oh, to autumn. And then, so they've been there, all winter. They've been there for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yes, they've been there a while, right?
Right. That part was a little bit confusing to me, but okay, I get it now. And then...
they get to Jara.
To
where...
this village where everybody is so horny, they have to marry immediately.
Oh, yeah, they get horny.
This is such a weird thing. Like
crazy horny.
Yeah.
So much so that they're marrying people are getting married to people who are not age appropriate for them.
Yeah.
And women seem to be the ones who are doing the like asking.
Yeah.
Which is not traditional in like a small town. And so I feel like the effect Rand has on everybody is to get Randy. And now I'm like, Robert Jordan, did you do this on purpose?
Robert Jordan doesn't want us writing smut, and yet.
Oh, this is without a doubt the first smut corner of the episode, y'all. Everybody in town is having an orgy. Rand passes through and people just drop trow. Yeah,
that's it.
Right?
Even the white cloaks, but they just don't know how to deal with it because of that, like, what's the Catholic guilt? And so they're like, well, I'm just gonna get mad instead.
That is the two emotions men feel is anger and
horny
randiness.
Oh my god.
So they get to there's an inn and there's a guy named Simeon, and Simeon recognizes that
Perrin is a wolf brother. Well,
no, he sees the eyes. But he recognizes that Moiraine is an Aes Sedai immediately, but he's chill about it, and I like Simeon a lot.
I like Simeon; he's a cool dude.
I'm so into Simeon. I was like, dude, this is how you handle stuff. You do them a favor, you get them all set up, and then you don't go to the Aes Sedai. You go to Perrin, and you're like, hey, look, I don't want to be weird. I think your friend's an Aes Sedai, and I need your help.
Yeah.
And I love that Perrin goes to Moiraine, and he's like, yo, he wants your help, and Lan is like, do I kill him?
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, Lan. No.
Moiraine's like, no, Lan, calm down.
Yeah, Simeon was great.
So they go and they see Gnome, and Gnome is a wolf brother as well, who is gone. He is
full wolf.
He's
no longer a man.
Moiraine opens the cage and is like, it's okay, walks in, because she's an Aes Sedai, and she's just exuding her Aes Sedai-ness at him, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. He's gone. He's just, there are no roads. And what she specifically says is there are no roads back to him being Gnome.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, right? Because it implies that there's something about the wolf brotherness that is separate from your psyche, as opposed to what I thought before, where the wolf brotherness was like your identity within it.
Yeah, I think it's a connection with this whole like Dreamwalker, dream world kind of thing.
Oh, like his psyche is lost in the dream world, and like all that's left is feral.
Yeah, because we know that the wolves are involved with the dream stuff, which we don't know enough about, so it's kind of confusing. But like, there has to be some kind of connection.
So is there going to be a point? Wait. Okay, you know how I said earlier, I was like, Perrin is gonna get lost. What if they don't have to go get Perrin? What if Egwene has to dreamwalk to Perrin and get him back in the dream world?
To bring him back from the dream world, but that's not something that Moiraine can do because she's not a dreamwalker.
But Egwene has dream abilities, maybe. And so at some point, we're going to have Perrin and Egwene's dream adventures. Do you think Perrin and Egwene end up together in the series?
I thought about it a few times.
Because we know Egwene isn't going to end up with Rand.
Right.
And I don't think she's going to end up with Galad. It seems too obvious with how, like, horny she is for him right now.
Yeah.
It feels like he's going to be her, like...
It's too obvious, and I know a spoiler about Galad that makes that absolutely not possible. So.
Well, that feels like a spoiler. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And also, I'm not going to tell you how, but I'm going to spoil it for you. So, okay, Egwene doesn't end up with Galad, apparently.
No, I'm telling you right now.
I don't even need to look at chat. My wife is spoiling the Wheel of Time for me. Jesus.
I'm the only one that's allowed.
All right. Well, Perrin learns the White Cloaks are spreading his name. Simeon's like, this Perrin Ibarra dude. They want him dead.
Before we move on to the next chapter, we do just want to reiterate for those of you who are joining us, sorry about the whole daylight savings thing. We forgot it's just a normal part of life for us, so we just assume that that's our bad. But we're sponsored. We're sponsored by HelloFresh. And if you want to throw that code down there, y'all, this is like kind of a cool deal for us. We just started using HelloFresh and we really, really love their products. And so if you use our code and you make an order with HelloFresh, first of all, you get up to 16 free meals, which is like really dope. And also it looks good on us because we're partnered with them and we like what they do. It's a really cool service, and the meals that we've had so far have been like really, really good. So please consider at least checking it out. For us, it would mean a lot. Enjoy the food if you end up getting it, because those meals they're pretty tasty.
Yeah, HelloFresh has been awesome. We unrelated to the sponsorship ordered HelloFresh.
Yeah.
And love it. And so we're putting the Nerdy Nightly guarantee on this, and that guarantee is that we say we do not shill for anybody we do not personally use and personally like.
Yeah.
We will never just advertise just to advertise. We eat HelloFresh. It's great, and I highly recommend it. Get your 16 free meals, and we get paid. So, I'm going to be honest. We get paid. So, do it for us. Yeah. But, do it for you.
If you would like to support us, this is a great way to do it. Each box comes with, 2 servings. So you can have one box that is 2 meals for one person, or we use one box for the 2 of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Chapter 9, Perrin visits Moiraine. And she tells him the tale of Jacob.
The tale of Jacob?
Yeah, so basically she tells him about Jacob from Twilight.
Wow.
I think that she goes, when she was with those 2 ladies, the other 2 I said in the last book, I think she read the Twilight books. And, cute.
It's hurting.
I know. I told you it was going to.
I know.
You're like, no, I've got this.
Just ignore my forehead.
So Moiraine tells Perrin all about the Twilight books and about Jacob. And she warns him about dreams. She's like, Perrin.
Yeah.
Dreams are scary. Wolves dreamwalk. And so what does Perrin do? He immediately goes and he has a dream.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, this could not be any more subtle.
But this is when he's in control, right? He is invading the Forsaken. Who is this first blood-soaked dude?
I don't know.
I don't think he's anyone we've met before.
He's clearly dead, so I don't think it matters.
He's dead?
Yeah.
No, the guy with blood all over his face is alive.
The guy with blood on his face?
The first guy he meets in this dream is alive.
No, doesn't he have to get his skin ripped off? Yeah, he literally gets skinned alive by a shadow that touches him and rips all of his skin away from his body.
Yeah, but I think he's alive.
No, he is dead.
He explodes on Perrin.
Yeah, Perrin wakes up with his blood on him. He's done.
Isn't there? But no. That guy. But then doesn't his blood get on someone and there is someone in the room?
Someone in the room.
He ends up as a skin puppet thing. Yeah. The Boltons got him. I 100%. I thought the guy dies, and there isn't there someone in the room then that is maybe I read the chapter wrong. That's interesting. I thought that it was implying that okay, wait. So I'm just gonna quickly go to chapter 9. That's 13.
I overshot that one.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was like, oh, who is this guy? This is super interesting. And then he got flayed, and I was like, oh, he's dead. He just serves as a purpose to show us that the dream world is very dangerous.
Also, in the talk with Moiraine, Perrin's like, I don't want to be a warder. I think Perrin's going to end up being a warder for someone.
For Egwene?
Maybe Egwene. Yeah, that would make sense.
I could see that. It's not my favorite theory, but I could totally see that for sure. Yeah, I definitely thought he got all of the flesh ripped away from his muscle and died. But maybe he's a skinless zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Yeah, Because then the wolves are like, run, get out, run, it's danger.
Yeah, okay, I'm wrong. I thought the thing like wore the dude that he killed. I thought it was gonna be like some weird Forsaken shit.
Oh no, yeah, oh god.
Because it said like he could see the skin unbroken, so I thought that it was implying that like someone was like stealing that dude's skin and then was gonna use it as like a suit to wear.
Like Arya with the
yeah,
faces.
yeah, something like that.
Puts on a new face.
And then he like runs into Lanfear again. Lanfear's like, what? Not now.
Yeah, can you stop interrupting, please?
I don't have my makeup on.
Yeah.
So he can like clearly dreamwalk, and the wolves show up, and the wolves are like, "Yo, dude, come with us. No, you gotta go. This is not the place for you.
They know what's up.
You gotta get out of here."
They know what's up,
and he does.
Yeah, thankfully.
And this, not a lot happens here, but the implications of Perrin being able to dreamwalk are just the reach of that. We've already talked about it a lot earlier, so I don't think we need to get too much into it now. But like the reach of that is going to be really cool, and I can't wait to see where that goes throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, me too.
And then we finally get a POV of Rand really quickly at the end of this chapter.
Yeah, just like a small little thing.
Yeah, he's out here killing dogs.
Yeah, seems a little weird.
Well, they're after him.
Okay.
He's trying to like stay safe, but like, yeah, he's out here killing dogs.
Yeah, that was weird, especially immediately after like reading the like Perrin like wolf stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
And
he wakes up. Wait, is that this dream? Is
What?
it this dream where it's Hopper who wakes him up?
Oh, right, it is Hopper. Right. Yeah. Who's
oh
dead?
my god. That made that hurt.
But are wolves ever really dead, right? Because
don't
they
know.
talk about how wolves have like the memory of the ages.
Yeah.
So when wolves' physical bodies die, do they just become dreamwalkers? And that's how wolves pass down memories, is what I'm thinking. And so like wolves can like literally commune with their ancestors, kind of like Black Panther did.
Right.
Wolves can like commune with their ancestors. I see a lot of S's in chat, so someone spoiled something, but wolves can commune with their ancestors in order to like learn about their past.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how Hopper is dead, but Hopper's like in the dream world. Hopper can still visit him.
Interesting. That's fun.
Yeah, and like honestly, y'all, like we're never gonna get Hopper on the show, and that makes me sad.
I know.
Like, how do you introduce him?
Yeah, you can't really like. Yeah.
I don't know how they're gonna visualize like the way that Perrin sees wolf stuff.
No idea.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
So then, chapter 10. Y'all, we're no longer we have 50 minutes to get through all the Egwene stuff. Can we do it?
50?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, it's an hour and 40 minutes. We got 50 minutes left.
Yeah, we got this.
So we immediately start with Matt. Matrim Cawthorn will not wake up, and Egwene has decided she'll never marry Rand.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it's not gonna happen.
She's like, well.
But Galad might be at the Tarvalon.
Oh my god.
She's like, you know what? I'm not gonna marry Rand, but that Galad though.
He's a cutie.
They're getting close to Tarvalon, but Nynaeve is like, yo, I feel it's bad. Like, there's a storm coming. And Huron is like, I smell danger. It's the third time I've smelled danger in the last little bit. And they're like, what do you mean? And I love that the way that it's described. So Huron clearly hasn't shared with them that he smells violence.
Yeah.
And so.
Which I'm like, why?
Because he doesn't trust that the Aes Sedai. It's like the Wolf Brother thing, right? Like the Aes Sedai want to
that they
test what they don't understand.
He's like, yeah. And knowing Varen, she would be very happy to study him.
Oh, she would love to study him.
Yeah.
Physically, emotionally. And so they're like, oh my god, I think something bad is about to happen. And then immediately something bad happens.
Yep, those white cloaks come trotting down the road, and we meet Bornhold Jr.
Bornhold Jr.
Dane.
Varen is like, let me talk to them. And then Varen is like, yo, what are you gonna do, really? And then Elaine is like, and I'm the queen. And they're like, wait, I'm the princess
I'm the daughter heir.
Andor. And they're like,
wait,
what?
Okay,
why are you here? First of all, why are you here?
I guess we'll go take you to your mom.
Second of all, your mom doesn't like the Aes Sedai anymore. Surprise.
Yeah.
I wrote Morghese is anti-Aes Sedai. And anti-Aes Sedai sounds like something that you take for like
antacid.
Yeah. It's an I've been taking a lot of anti-Aes Sedais lately. And Egwene just cannot handle this.
Egwene is like, there is no way that I'm going to be like held against my will again. Screw these people, and just starts blowing up the earth.
Methany's saying Varen knows about Huron. I didn't know that. I didn't remember that.
Oh,
But
I had
Egwene
forgotten.
doesn't. Egwene, Nynaeve do not know. So Egwene, Egwene is still so traumatized by the Seanchan.
I would be too.
No.
I get it. Here's the thing. It's like, it's one of those instances where I'm like, yeah, you guys kind of made the wrong choice. You know, Varen is right. They would have just been able to push past whatever. But yeah, I get it. She's like, I will not go through this again. And she does whatever she has to do.
Well,
like,
and it's the same thing that happens in the street in the Great Hunt. And so what's funny is that we're about to talk a lot about how Egwene has been given a secret mission. And Egwene and Nynaeve are the two most impulsive characters in these books now. Egwene didn't used to be, but Egwene is now, without a doubt, the most violently impulsive character on the good side.
You think more than Nynaeve?
Nynaeve doesn't attack for no reason. Egwene, both of the big moments where the girls have attacked for no reason, where they could have been safe if they hadn't, has been Egwene, not Nynaeve. Nynaeve is violent and capable and destructive, but she does that when she has a reason to be.
Yeah.
I don't think it's impulse on Nynaeve's part. I think her powers are impulsive in that it is tied into her anger, but I don't think that Nynaeve has at any point been like, well, this might happen, so I'm gonna just strike first for no reason.
Yeah,
Where Egwene in two big scenarios has really popped off, and it's so cool.
Yeah,
I like Egwene. I feel so bad for her, and like her PTSD is like is tragic, but like I love reading this character, and I can't wait to see her arc to like retribution.
Yeah. Well, and because like because their actions are going to have consequences, right?
Yeah.
They scare off these white cloaks, and those white cloaks are going to go run around and be like, we were attacked by a bunch of witches, and scare everybody.
Yeah.
And Varen is pissed, and I get it. It's one of those situations where I totally get both people.
But this is where I struggle with the Aes Sedai methods, right? Where because like Dame Bornhold is like I'm Dame Bornhold and I'm gonna get you one day. And I'm like, and Varen's like, we do not use the one power as a weapon. And I'm like, yeah, but they specifically didn't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Like, are you not allowed to like scare people away? Are you not allowed to like?
It's a fine line because people could have gotten hurt.
Sure, but also they could have attacked them. And like this is a scenario where Varen seems more concerned with White Cloaks' opinions of the Aes Sedai, which are already trash. Like they're like, the White Cloaks are gonna go and tell stories about us. Yeah, you mean the thing they already do?
Yeah.
As part of their creed? Like what changed? No, but actually, like in terms of White Cloaks' relationships to the Aes Sedai, what's different now?
I don't know. They're trying to have the higher ground, right?
Why?
They're trying not to stoop because...
They didn't. They used the power to scare them away. No one got hurt. That is if you have that much power and all you do is scare away people who want to hurt you and you do not hurt them back, you are completely morally in the right to me.
Yeah, but it is one of those things where you know that's going to be exaggerated.
Okay,
right?
But the White Cloaks show up and they start.
Yeah.
They show up, they're bullying, they're claiming they're going to take them to the questioners. Like the White Cloaks, without a doubt, create that entire confrontation. The Aes Sedai don't ask for it, they don't ride towards it, they're not outwardly violent in any way, they're just riding down the road. The White Cloaks create the situation and Egwene doesn't hurt anyone. She is morally 100% in the right. To me.
Yeah, I just think that that instance is going to have consequences somehow. Right? Like...
Shits of Link says, Nerdy, are you even a Star Wars fan if you don't know the value of the high ground?
Are you? Yeah, it's...
I don't know. I think Egwene... Look, is Egwene being impulsive? 100%. But is she, like, morally in the wrong? I don't think so. Morally.
It's hard because they also, like, don't have all the information around. They don't know how many White Cloaks are around. They don't know what the situation is. They don't know, like, right? Because there's a bunch of White Cloaks around, and the guards have been, like, chasing them. Not chasing them. They move out when people show up. But, like, it's just weird. Like...
Hasty Elder Haman says it does violate one of the oaths. It doesn't. Technically.
You cannot use it, like, as a weapon against others. And so it just... That's, like...
Here's the thing. Okay, let's be really honest about these oaths. You can get around that so easily. In the same way that they never lie, she did not use it as a weapon against others. She used it as a deterrent against violence. Boom. Those oaths, the Tarvalon 3 oaths are weak sauce in terms of like actually stopping people. Like if she had like used wind to cut his throat, absolutely. But making the ground erupt in front of them so that they ride away, calling that a weapon is dicey. And if
it's definitely gray.
The one power must clearly work based on her interpretation of her own use of her powers, right?
Right, kind of the way that the collars work.
Right, and so the only way that it would be a violation of the oaths is if she believed herself to be using it as a weapon, as opposed to a deterrent. As long as she believes, and I think that this is how Lanfear is going to be able to do this, right? Because Lanfear has... Leandrin. Leandrin has taken the 3 oaths. Yeah. And so Leandrin is going to have to believe that she's not using the 1 power as a weapon in order to use the 1 power.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
Right? Because Leandrin is going to have to be able to use the 1 power.
Yeah, and they're definitely open to interpretation. It is weird, right? It's like, does it work based on like your justifications or the public's justifications? Like, how does that?
I love this. See, Claude Complex brings up George Costanza. It's not a lie if you believe it. It's just your perception. And so Egwene's perception, you can use the 1 power to blow up the ground if you're not trying to hurt anyone, because it's not a weapon then. You're just blowing up the ground.
Yeah.
Unless you're like... But also, like, is that a weapon against earthworms? I don't know.
Those poor insects in the ground.
I think we're gonna find. I think that the rest of this book will have much more on how the 1 power works because we're going to Tarvalon.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think Egwene. I think he's totally right. And Dane Bornhold, welcome to the series, dude. I cannot wait to hate you for, I'm assuming, many books.
Yeah.
Chapter 11. Y'all. Tarvalon's a vagina.
Yeah. I literally opened up the book and I like...
Tarvalon is a vagina.
That was literally like you were streaming and I was like, babe. It's like, wait a second. Wait, chapter 11? Yeah, like I opened the book and I was like, oh, that's a vagina.
It's not now I figured it out. Okay, I want to be really clear. SG, I didn't now figure it out. This is the first time I've seen a map of Tarvalon. This is the first time in these books.
Yeah.
As soon as I opened the page and went...
The moment we saw the map, I was like, there's the clitoris.
Yeah, the North Harbor is the clitoris.
Labia. Like, it's literally like a diagram there right for you. Like...
This stream is sponsored by HelloFresh.
Don't tell them. Literally, I literally opened this up and I went and I messaged in your Twitch chat. I was like, I figured it out.
Yeah, so Tarvalon's a vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what that's it. That's straight up facts.
So chapter 12. No, chapter 11. They ride into the vagina. And war is on everybody's tongue. So much so that there are people in Tarvalon who are questioning the Aes Sedai now. That this bastion, this fortress of the Aes Sedai, even there, people are maybe a little bit less sure. There's a man at the gates who questions the Aes Sedai involvement on Falma, saying the Aes Sedai are working with the Dragon Reborn because they are. And that's what gets complicated about this whole series is the reputation of the Dragon Reborn is that he is going to be evil. A lot of people believe he's going to be evil, and getting people on board with this is going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. Varen keeps telling the girls to shut up because they won't stop shoving their mouths in it.
Shoving their mouth. Sure, that was not the metaphor.
I know, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that, especially talking about the vagina, but...
Yeah, that was
And then we get one of my favorite lines of this entire reading.
Oh.
From I think it's Nynaeve. Can you go to 134 really quick? I can't remember if it's Nynaeve or Egwene. No, it must be Egwene. Yeah, it's Egwene. Where she says, I only took a picture of one page, but it crosses the page, so I want to read the whole line.
Oh, gotcha.
It's she had already gone beyond being an innkeeper's daughter. Those bonds would not hold her again either. not because she hated them, but because she had outgrown them. And this is such a wonderful like way to talk about growing up, and that it's not that you hate your old self, but you just simply aren't your old self anymore.
Yeah.
And I love I love this recognition of Egwene's growth. And I thought that I just love this because not because she hated them, but because she had outgrown them. I just, for some reason, that sentence really just struck me in a really beautiful way.
Yeah.
And I think a lot about how much I've changed in the last 2 years in this pandemic. And like, because I got married and because I moved to another country, and like, I feel like my life is so drastically different now.
Yeah.
And there's things about my past that sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I would never do that again. Like, why did I spend so much of my life doing that? And I have to remind myself, like, you didn't hate it back then. You loved it. You've just outgrown it. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to become a different person. It's okay to fully realize yourself in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this line really, really spoke to me. And I just, I was so struck by it when I was reading.
Yeah, that one stood out to me as well, actually.
Yeah.
And, you know, I feel like we're, like, at the kind of, like, point in our lives where we are able to look back like
and
several times over. Yeah. Because, you know, it's when you're in the moment for things, it feels so different than when you look back and reflect and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Why?
I like this. Egwene accepts that she's outgrown Emond's Field before any of the other Emond's Field 5. That's true.
Yeah.
To be fair, Matt didn't have as much opportunity.
Yeah, Matt's unconscious. So.
And obviously, V. Drake, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that.
Hey Drake, thank you for the super chat.
The power can be used in horrific ways, like mind control. If you went to a healer who can mind control you, it's scary. A lot wouldn't risk it without oaths. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But the belief in the oaths is for other people, not for the Aes Sedai.
Well, both, I think, to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Perry Wolf, thank you so much for that
Perry
super
Wolf,
chat as well.
And this is why the show does such a disservice to Egwene by making her Ta'veren. I think making her Ta'veren is fine. It's making her... It's taking away the moment where she chooses to go on the adventure that I don't like.
But I think that has to do with her being Ta'veren, right?
Oh, like, sure. Yeah. I'm just saying that, like, if they had found a way for her to be Ta'veren and, like, people are influenced around her the way that they are with the boys, but she had
made the decision to leave Emond's Field herself, yeah.
Yeah, I wish they had kept... I just wish they had kept the concept of Egwene demands to go on the journey and wants to, and, like, thinks it's going to be the journey she needs.
Yeah.
And it turns out to not. I'm sad that we lost that. Not that I don't mind her being Ta'veren. It's really just that we lost that beat for her and what it implies about her later adventures.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So then we get
to the tower, because there's nothing really happens in the town. It's basically just, you know, Varen talks to some people. We get to the tower, and Sheriam comes down to meet them with some other accepteds. And
accepted that they've never met before, despite the fact that they lived in this tower.
No, we've met Phelan before.
We have?
Yeah, isn't Phelan in the last book?
Is she?
I recognize the name, but maybe I'm just...
Oh, weird. Because they introduced these three accepted as if they're being introduced to the girls. And I was like, wait, do the Aes Sedai in the tower not all know each other? How many Aes Sedai are in this tower that they live there for months and that these girls walk up and are like, hi, I'm Phelan. And they're like, yeah, girl,
I mean, they've
lived
also
here.
Been gone a while. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm pretty
No, but
sure
these girls are
Phelan...
accepted. They've been there for a while.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've met Phelan before. But...
we meet the other two, though.
Yeah, the other two I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was just like, how many Aes Sedai are in this tower that we can just, like... That these girls are still meeting people after they lived here for months?
Yeah.
They lived there for months.
Yeah. I don't know.
And the book is constantly like, oh, there's so many fewer Aes Sedai than there used to be. And I'm
That's
like, you
true.
can live with these, but there's enough that you can live there for months. And you're like, who
Maybe
are you?
I think it's more of an introduction for the reader as opposed to for the...
Sure, introduce them to us, but don't introduce them to the girls.
Yeah.
I get that. I just was like, okay. Do the accepted come and go from the tower though, Shanvira? That's my question.
I don't know.
So I wrote, at the end of the chapter, I wrote, are they in trouble? Who knows? Are they? Who are these accepted? They don't know. Who knows? But also, they introduced something here that I didn't feel last time we were at the White Tower, which is that there's a distaste for Wilders. Because the girl is like very dismissive of Nynaeve being a Wilder.
Yeah, they bring it up like one time in the other book, but it's
It feels hammered at here a little bit.
Yeah. They're like, oh, that one thing we mentioned, we want to make sure that, like, like, people think it's not a good thing. Yeah, it was, like, very heavy-handed in this moment.
Yeah, I didn't love the heavy-handedness. I would voluntarily forget Fallon given the opportunity.
Yeah, she's something.
I think the Accepted aren't allowed to leave Tarvalon without permission based on what Swan says later.
Yeah, they're not. So I'm pretty sure the novices are not allowed to leave the White Tower, and then the Accepted are not allowed to leave Tarvalon.
And then we get into what is 3 chapters of conversation with Swan.
Basically.
No, not basically. Literally. 3 straight chapters that is just one long conversation with Swan with multiple people.
Yeah, so Swan is like, you guys, you're gonna be cleaning some pots.
No. First, it's Swan and Varen. So
right,
Varen tells Swan everything she knows, right?
Yes.
And Swan is like, so Matt blew the horn, huh?
Well, we might have to let him die. And I was like, wow, okay.
He's to Varen, though.
I know.
Well,
and here's the thing.
Are they really gonna, like... I know he doesn't, right? Because everyone keeps telling me that, like, book 8 Matt is so fantastic.
Yeah, so
like, obviously he's not gonna die. But, like, Swan...
Yeah, but they're straight up like, maybe we should just have him die, I guess.
Yeah. I liked her up until that, and I was like, no, you leave my boy alone.
Well, but here's the thing. It feels very Aes Sedai to, like, consider all the options, and obviously he doesn't die, so I'm sure they don't let him die. But it is a thought that they have to have, and they're like, okay. And then they're probably like, oh, but they're all Ta'Veren, and so the wheel weaves as the wheel wills, so let the wheel do its weaving.
Yeah. And so, we get this conversation where Varen is it's really just Varen imparts all the knowledge that the reader has to Swan.
Yeah.
So that we can get to the next chapter.
Yes.
Which is where things, and you took good notes here, right? Because my notes are very sparse.
For chapter 13.
For 12, 13, and 14.
I didn't write them down as chapters, which was my mistake.
Cool.
I wrote them down in chunks. So yeah, I love that for me. So chapter 13 is the girls having the conversation in their
chambers
through the peephole.
Yeah.
Because they're Varen's like, you don't need to throw them in the dungeons, but they can go to their rooms and they can have some cold broth, basically. And I was like, all right, fine. Nothing really happens in that conversation though, except that both Egwene and Elaine are like, if it comes down to it, I will not be stilled. Yeah, we're getting the heck out.
Yeah.
That's that conversation, and then they are summoned.
Yep.
By Swan. Who I love, basically is testing them at the same time as trying to punish them. To be like, this is your punishment, okay? This is your punishment.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, if you had resisted, I had a third punishment for you as well. And I was like, that's so mean. I get it, but that's dark. That's
yeah. So this is where the Aes Sedai completely fall apart for me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. Because I really struggled with this chapter. Let's talk about the cool stuff first. So,
okay.
At first, Swan is accusing them of running away. And Egwene's like, we did not run away, Leandrin. And Swan's like, do not use that name. Leandrin and 13, or she's either one of 13 or it was Leandrin and 13. Aes Sedai left. They killed multiple people, and they stole a bunch of Terangrials.
12 other women, so 13 total.
Once again, we're seeing echoes of...
number 13.
We're seeing echoes of 13, much like the Forsaken.
Yeah.
Mega K Wags, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
Super chat with no spoilers. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. So they steal the Terangrials. Who knows what the ones they stole do, right? No one knows.
I'm sure we're going to find out.
So Swan's furious, right? Swan's super pissed.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, here's your punishment. You're going to clean some dishes. Also, we're promoting you.
Yeah. I made sure everybody knows that you're scrubbing pots, but also you're going to be accepted. And I was like,
and this is where I struggle with it, right? Is because why? Like, how have they earned that?
They're too powerful now.
But like, how is your system based on how much you can do? And
That's
not
what it was
how
for
much you've
Nynaeve.
studied. But here's
That's
my
what it was
problem
for
with it.
Nynaeve.
Apparently the magic system in this, you have to like learn stuff, right? But Nynaeve is older, right? So they were like, Nynaeve, you're like 25. We're not going to make you we're not going to treat you like you're 18, right? Which I understood a little bit. I didn't like it. I said in that episode I didn't like it.
You did, yeah.
But I like this even less because it feels like they're like, oh, your power level that we can't measure in any reasonable way has risen.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to raise you to the level of accepted because.
I think she does it so that they can spy for her more effectively. If they were novices, there's no way that if Egwene at least was a novice, and it would feel weird making Egwene accepted and not Elaine in that moment. So she needs Egwene to be an accepted so that she is able to at least get around on her own enough. Like, the novices are basically, like, babysat at all times. They're not even allowed to, like, speak unless spoken to.
Yeah, I get that.
Egwene cannot be in the position where she is, like, spying for the Emerald seat and still be a novice. And so that's why. I don't think it's, like, that they deserve it, to be honest.
That is giving Egwene a level of trust that I don't think is justified based on Siwan's belief about the situation.
She trusts them enough that they are not evil, and she cannot trust anybody else.
100%. No, I get that. This is why Liandrin was able to succeed.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, Siwan is, in this moment, Siwan is showing the exact
She's showing
structure system that she is upholding that allowed for Liandrin and the Black Aja to exist.
Yeah.
It is putting faith in people. It is elevating strength. It is like I understand why she's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I get her thinking.
Yeah.
I'm saying that like her
it's a bad decision
bad decision.
Right. But I'm saying that this is her justification.
Because there's going to be novices who are farther along, who are ready, who don't get raised to accepted because after being away for months.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that if they had made it a day later, if Egwene had showed that because of the Adam, she has this new ability to control the one power. Because she does, right? Like, we know that Egwene now has this ability to control. She is so much better at channeling now than when she had left.
Yeah.
And I think that if they had been like, Siwan and the other Aes Sedai see her do this thing, they're like, oh, wow, you're, like, comfortable with the one power. We're going to give you accepted now because you have the control of it. Mm-hmm. I would have been so much more on board with this moment. And maybe Varen tells her that she like can like blow up the earth, and she's like, "Well, if she can blow up the earth, she's an Aes Sedai now." But this whole conversation.
I don't think it has anything to do with power. Turvok, I just want to say thank you.
Yes,
so
Turvok,
much
thank you so much
for that super duper chat. We absolutely love having you here.
We really do appreciate it. I think that Siwan's actions betray the same failures that created a space for Liandrin to succeed.
Yeah, 100%. It's wrong, but I understand exactly why it happened. Because here's the thing. She couldn't wait to then... First of all, she needed Egwene to be accepted for her to spy for her. Mm-hmm. Second of all, she needs Elaine to be accepted because her mom is pissed and wants her back. She went missing... And Siwan is
that makes sense.
Determined to keep Elaine there and make her an Aes Sedai. So yes, giving her this role of accepted. Yeah. Like it makes sense, but it is bad for them in the long term, right? It's going to have consequences, but I can understand the justification, right?
Also in this chapter, we find out that Morghese not only wants to take her daughter home. Morghese left without Aleida.
Yeah, so she does not have an Aes Sedai advisor.
But Aleida, very specifically, not mentioned as having been one of the 13. So I might have been wrong about Aleida being Darkfront.
Yeah, I have a feeling Aleida is going to be at the
Which
tower.
one of us? I don't think Aleida was Darkfront. I think Leanne is. You said Aleida. Maybe. I can't remember.
I don't
One of us predicted that. So Aleida must be at the tower, which I hope that we get some time with Elaine and Aleida. I think that would be fun in this book. To see their relationship.
Yeah, I think so.
Now that Elaine is channeling, I feel like they would have a very different relationship than they had in the court.
And is like unaccepted, which means something to Aleida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Elaine gets sent away, and we get to chapter 14, which I titled.
She gets a letter from, right?
Yeah, she's handed a letter from Mom, but she's sent away.
Yes.
Because Sawan wants to have a conversation with Egwene and Nynaeve.
Yep.
Because Sawan, I didn't know if you know this, Sawan's actual last name, Bosley. Egwene and Nynaeve, Charlie's Angels. We have the Charlie's Angels of the Aes Sedai. We are going undercover to root out dark friends. The Egwene and Nynaeve have become the white cloaks of the tower. The white cloaks of the White Tower. Yeah.
Literally, like, Swan spends, like, the first 2 pages of this chapter just being like, I don't know who to trust. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. And she's just like...
spinning.
She's having a rough time. And I'm like, you know what, girl? I feel bad for you because I wouldn't trust anybody either.
Well, Swan's like, I don't know if I can trust Moraine. And Nynaeve is like, you can't.
Yeah. I was like, okay, a little strong there. little strong there.
Nynaeve's hate for Moiraine, to me, has, like, gotten to a point where I'm like, girl, did Moiraine ever lie to you?
No, yeah, it's I feel like Nynaeve has had to do some weird jumping through hoops justification in her brain to hate Moiraine as much as she does.
I think that part of it comes from the fact that she, and everybody knows, she desperately wants Lan.
Well, that doesn't help.
Everyone is, like, literally, Egwene even, or we didn't talk about it, but a couple chapters ago, like, teases her about it, and even Egwene is like, ooh, that was too...
Yeah,
I hit too close to home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So basically, Egwene and Nynaeve are signed up for the secret police of the White Tower, and they're given special letters that are, like,
It literally is like a free hall pass.
Yeah.
Like, the bearer of this can do whatever the fuck they want. Signed,
Amyrlin Seat.
And you're like, wow. And they literally are like, this is so much power. And she's like, yeah, and you better be able to justify using these to me. So don't, get out of scrubbing pots duty.
Yeah, and so she's literally like, okay, I know that neither of you know what's going on here. Yeah. You both have been away for months. You are barely trained. Can you go hunt the Dark Aes Sedai for me? Will you go root out the Black Aja? And they're like, I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's weird because it's a terrible idea, but it's one of those things where I'm like, I get it. She cannot trust anybody else, and, like, how horrible must that be?
But, like, how poorly has she run her life that she can't trust any of these Aes Sedai?
Well, she
trusts Moraine, she trusts Varen, and she trusts 2 girls she's met 3 times. That's her entire circle. Like, Sawan... Sawan needed to be a better community builder because you've kind of failed a little bit here.
Yeah.
If you are this unsure about the people around you that you're trusting children to your eyes, woof.
Yeah.
So they go away.
I don't know. I want to see the warders dance. So hopefully,
I want to see Egwene's accepted trial. Because that has to be next, right?
Yes. That's got to be, like, the next chapter,
It's going to be brutal.
It's going to be a lot.
Egwene's accepted trial is going to be brutal.
I cannot wait to talk about that.
So we get to the final chapter we're going to talk about today.
We also didn't mention... The one thing that I'm super curious about is, like, the box of notes that she has as, like, precautions in case, like, shit goes south.
Yeah.
That will literally burn if anyone but her touches it. Like,
which is a bad way to have a will, because if you die, then no one can touch it.
I know.
So, like,
I was like, hopefully there's a failsafe. It's probably Moraine. Moraine can also... Well, I don't know. I don't know if she trusts Moraine.
Yeah.
But she's got an explodey box, so...
All right. Chapter 15.
The last thing that happens is...
This one?
We are introduced to a new concept.
Okay. Does the White Tower not have wards? So, Nynaeve and Egwene go back to the room, and then as they're opening their doors, a crossbow bolt almost kills them.
Yeah.
Nynaeve, who apparently can, like, learn any ability, if she if anyone uses something on her once, she has it mastered.
Yeah, she's like, I know what's up.
Cool, because she's Taskmaster.
Yeah.
So Nynaeve is the Taskmaster of the Wheel of Time universe, which is kind of cool.
I mean, like, honestly, that's pretty dope when you put it like that. But, yeah, she's able to just, like, look out the window, see somebody, hold them with air, they run down, and they find somebody
Nynaeve
with a
is
knife.
Peter Petrelli. I'll bind ho.
Good pull. Good pull. That was good.
Albino, you know what?
Save the
Thank
cheerleader,
you.
save the world.
Rand
Rand is the
you just
cheerleader.
brought me so much joy.
Rand is the cheerleader.
I should have pulled Peter Petrelli. That's a much better pull than Taskmaster.
No, they're both good. They're both good.
Oh my god, I love him so much. So yeah.
So they run down, and there's a guy there with a knife in his chest,
Mm-hmm.
who's dead, who's fully dead. So it very clearly was like two people working together. The other person stabbed the one so that there was like they couldn't talk or be forced to talk. And then who comes up? Sherry M is like, "What are you doing?" She's like full McGonagall, I feel like. She just shows up at the right moment. She's like, "What are you doing?" And then obviously that makes Nynaeve super sus of her because she's there like very quick after.
Yeah.
Also, Nynaeve, worst spy ever. Like literally like.
Yeah, immediately bad.
She's like, "What are you doing here?" And Sherry M is like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, shut your mouth." I was like, good try.
Why is the Master of Novices in the novice quarters? That's a pretty stupid question.
Yeah. And so we are introduced to this new concept of gray men who are servants of the Dark One who have basically given their souls over.
But who are invisible?
Yeah. It's like the, oh God, there's something comparable. Is it in... it's in, I think it's in Harry Potter, where they have there's a thing that you can wear where like...
An invisibility cloak?
No, not the invisibility cloak. It makes your like focus just like pull away from that person. Like it just, unless you do something... I'm trying to remember the exact...
Slip Captain.
I'm trying to remember the exact like
the
what
perception filter from Doctor Who's a good one, yeah.
Yes, it's also that. It's where there's a thing right there and your brain just kind of like nopes away from it.
Yeah.
Right? They're there, but they're not.
Somebody else's problem field from Hitchhiker's Guide. That's a good pull.
Oh God.
I love Hitchhiker's Guide. Those books are so good.
Yeah. I
need to reread them. I don't know if I have them up here. They might be downstairs.
I've only seen the movie.
Oh, you've never read the books?
Yeah, I know, trust me.
Oh my God.
I've been
we
told
have all 5 of them.
It's a mistake. But yeah, it's that same kind of like thing where they're there, but you just, your brain doesn't want to like look at them. And so they are able to kind of move through unnoticed, but not invisible. You just can't like draw attention to yourself in any way, which is cool.
This is a concept that I cannot wait for them to use on the show. Because this is something that they absolutely can pull off with their budget.
Yeah.
And I like this is going to be a fun, I hope they have like an episode that feels like a horror film that's like that like Egwene trying to get away from these guys, right?
Yeah.
Because of their invisibility, you can just play around with it so much.
Yeah.
And like this was a really cool concept.
Yeah. I it's like crouching in Skyrim.
There's an
you can walk straight up to a person in front of their face and they just won't see you.
There's an enemy in, or not an enemy, there's an X-Men character named Forget-Me-Not, whose ability is that if you are not actively looking at him, you completely forget he exists.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, his life sucks, but he saves the day a lot because the enemies don't know that he exists unless they are actively looking at him.
That's wild.
Yeah. He's a dangerous X-Men. It's a good thing he's a good guy. Yeah, so they basically are like, we found a dead person, and Shuriam's like, that's not a dead person. That's a gray man. This is really bad.
Yeah. And you're like, wait, what? Like, they're just there in the tower. Like, basically, like, Leandrin and a bunch of Aja left, and they just stole some stuff, and now there's gray men shooting crossbow bolts through the halls of Tarvalon.
And it gets interesting, right? Because they're going full detective mode here. They're, like, trying to do the thing. And Shriam's like, we're going to cover this. We're going to talk about this later. And I love that it kind of ends with Nynaeve being like, hey, why didn't she ask who killed him?
Yeah.
Do you think Shuriam's dark a friend?
I don't know. I feel like that's like too... I mean, it was like, I think we talked about that.
She's the spanker. So like, you're like, You're
like, I get it.
The dark friend comes to her and he's like, you can give as many spankings as you want. And Shuriam was like, I'll work for you. She can already give as many spankings as she wants, honestly.
Here's the thing. Part of me was like, I think Shuriam is a dark friend, and now because of this, I don't think so. I think it's just too soon and too
I don't
obvious.
know. The thing is, Leandrin was so obvious that I'm like,
That's true. It might just be another obvious one. You're like, okay.
But yeah, so they're in danger. They're not safe in the White Tower. And they have letters that say they can do whatever they want. That's kind of the end of this, right? That's where we leave off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that we were like, we're not going to go 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I failed.
Oopsie.
There was a lot more that pairs up. Honestly, the Egwene Nynaeve stuff is pretty straightforward. Partially because it's 3 of those chapters are just one long conversation that is basically, hey, you guys screwed up. You're going to be washing dishes a lot, and you work for me now. And like that's kind of it. Like there's not a lot of prophecy in that part. There's not a lot of reveal. Like it's hard to kind of dive into it.
Yeah. It doesn't give us a lot to really kind of like break down in any sense.
Yeah. Slap captain.
Trying to.
Shariam's the slap captain, and the Grey Men are the slip captains.
There was like one earlier.
Oh, that's funny.
Passage about the Corinthian cycle. If we do want to hypothesize about it.
Yeah, we can.
It's what Moraine talks about all these prophecies that like she's like I don't know what they mean, right? There's shall slay his people with the sword of peace and destroy them with the leaf, which makes it seem like Rand is going to like become Tuatha An and that's going to cause a bunch of people to die. Like Rand is going to be like, nope, I abhor violence, I denounce violence, and then that's going to like cause a lot of people to
I think
die.
That only happens if they can get rid of the taint, though.
Yeah. He shall bind the 9 moons to serve him. I don't know. Could that?
He's gonna find the 9 best butts, and they're going to moon the enemy at the final battle.
That's it. That's 100% it. Part of me was hoping that it would be like he would be able to sway some of the. Or, like, steal power from, like, the Forsaken. But there's 13 of them, so I don't...
Well, we've already killed 3, right?
That's true.
So.
There are others. What wounds of madness and of cutting hope has he healed? So there's something about... I think that the wounds of madness is he's going to fix the taint. Yeah.
I don't think he's tainted, though. I think the taint will be solved at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Before the final battle.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring this up because it was one of those things again about prophecies that it's like we don't know enough about, and like clearly like neither does Moraine. Like she's like, I don't know what the hell any of this means, and like I know you want me to share more with you, but like what's the point? And honestly, I think that's dumb. I think that if you work with people, you give them information because they might have unrelated pieces that might fit with it that they just don't know it, but that's just me.
I want to bring up this thing I took a picture of, which is that Huron leaves them, and he says, call for me, and I will come to your aid if I need to, if I can. And Nynaeve says, men, they always say to send for them if you need them, but when you do need one, you need him right then.
She gets horny.
To which Varen says, no man can help where we are going. Remember, be silent. Nynaeve's
really horny, and Lan is not there.
I know.
That is the explanation for that one.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like, girl, just, like, get a vibrator. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Honestly, Tarvalin probably has, like, great technology for that.
Terangrials.
Yeah.
They've got a whole room of them. Leandrin specifically stole all the vibrators so that to weaken the White Tower.
Jesus Christ.
Because how are they going to deal with their stress now?
It's true, yeah.
Leandrin stole all the vibrators. And that's why Siwan is so out of sorts about it. She's like,
fair.
Some people are dead, true, but, like...
But, like, now what are we going to do?
I need a Hitachi. Okay? Speaking of, welcome to Smut Corner. This is the part of the show where we talk about where we would add our sex scenes into this section of the book. Where are you adding some smut? Methany, thank you for that super chat.
Thank you for the super chat.
You have enough information to figure some of this out. Looking forward to your reread stream in a few decades. Yeah.
Oh my god.
When the Wheel of Time is remade as the hologram show that plays in your VR headset, we'll do a reread series. But it'll be in a hologram theater, so you'll all be able to, like, sit in the theater and we'll be able to, like, see your faces. It'll be fun. Or your avatar's faces.
Honestly, my smut corner was, like, I wanted this, like, village orgy where everyone's getting married.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone is just having the time of their lives. And, like, the party just, like, rides into town and they're like, what's happening?
Yeah. I mean, that's the best one, right?
Oh, yeah.
I also think, like, I think that... Oh, where else? You know what? Egwene gets back to the tower, and her and Galad have their, like, joyful tryst because he misses her.
They're not dating yet.
They can still have a little fun. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This is a tough one. There aren't a lot of characters together that I want to see.
Yeah. Because, like...
Maybe Leia and Perrin get a moment so that, you know...
Poor Perrin. Oh, God. Yeah. This one was tough. That was kind of the only moment for me where... Because it's kind of, like, written in.
This isn't really smut, but, like, the night after Moiraine heals everybody, I just picture Lan going into Moiraine's room and just giving her the, like, massage of a lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, she's had a rough day. She healed all those people. She's wiped. And Lan just comes in with those strong hands and a little bit of, like, some essential oils. And just, like, really, really rubs the tension out of her shoulders.
That sounds
You know
nice.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of smut I want this week. I'm like, I just want some nice massages.
She needs a break, for sure.
A pedicure.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And our final section...
Yeah, high-low.
High-low.
It's the high-low, y'all. This is a tradition from my family's dinner table where we would talk about our highs and lows of the day to commiserate over the things that go wrong in our lives, but also celebrate the things that go right. The way we do this is that Clarissa gives her high, I give my low. Clarissa gives her low, and then I give my high because we like to compliment sandwich this stuff.
Heck yeah.
Clarissa, what's your high this week?
My high is 100% the Perrin chapter where he goes young bull. That one, like, is a high for me, probably, like, that might be, like, my book high. I got chills. I loved reading it. I felt so engrossed in it. And, like, horrible stuff happened, and it makes me nervous for Perrin, but also, like, I just wanted more of that. That is 100% my high.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a great scene.
Yeah.
My low is definitely the moment where someone just, like, you're accepted now. And I was like, okay. It just could have been done in a way that would have been more narratively fulfilling to me.
Yeah.
And that, like, was related to, like, Sawan, like, understanding the change that they went through, or, like, I think that even if Sawan had just, like, interrogated them a little bit more about their experience before saying that, and, like, had understood the change that had happened to them while they were away, that maybe it would have just worked better for me.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit too, like, we need to get past this.
Yeah.
And so it was fine, but it just wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. That's fair. I agree. It's my yeah. I'm like, I get it, but also it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I think my low was the chapters where it seems like Moiraine is almost like mind controlling the guys, but not like, it's weird and it's kind of like not explained, and I just feel weird about it.
Yeah, the chapter going down the mountain was just kind of
where
fine.
Perrin's like, I'm just doing everything, and I'm like, okay, this is here. I don't know how I feel about it yet, but it exists, so.
Yeah, my high is Perrin's second dream. I think that him dreamwalking into Lanfear, and then Hopper, like that whole section, especially just after he sees Gnome, and so he has this new understanding of the Wolf Brother and why to be scared of it, and then to immediately see the power of it, those two things next to each other was just fascinating, and I really loved, I really, really liked that whole sequence of events.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Jay Abbott says Pat and Fane with Match and Shin is the correct answer for Smut Corner.
I mean, look, Pat, the nice thing about Match and Shin is, like, you know, it can be everywhere at once. You know what I mean?
Everywhere at once.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything all of the time. Oh, yeah. No, that...
Mega Wag says Nerdy hates the tower politics so much. It's not that I hate them, it's that I don't get it yet. And, like, I just feel like I just feel like things just happen there. And I want to, like...
Well, it's that you realize right away that what Swan is doing is going to have consequences, and, like, no wonder they're falling apart when they make decisions like this.
Everything just seems so arbitrary.
World building, you know? And
it just seems like they're not... Yeah, I don't know. The tower politics to me thus far have been... They're fine, but they're not my favorite part of this at all. The other stuff in the tower is so much more interesting. And I just want to learn. I want to spend some time with these characters learning about the One Power.
Yeah.
And every time we get to the tower, there's another thing that, like, is like, oh, no, we're not going to go into lessons about the One Power. You're not going to learn. Instead, we're going to focus on, like, trying to find more dark friends here after they left. And I'm like, no, I want Egwene and Nynaeve to, like, go to a class and learn this so that I feel like there's a reason why they're getting better at it.
Yeah, like...
And it just seems like this series kind of skips over anytime people learn how to do things. And that's fine, but it leaves me with a less firm understanding of how the powers that they're using work. because I
Yeah.
didn't watch the characters learn how they do the things they do.
Yeah, like we got to see Rand literally learning different poses from Lan for the sword, right?
But we literally got one scene of that.
I mean, yeah, but something like that.
And then the
as,
sheathing
a
the sword
class.
thing was just like mentioned.
Yeah.
And then we skip over everything else until sheathing the sword is important for opening up a chance to strike. Or no, then we get like, oh no, don't do that ever. You will die immediately. And then it's used again. And so I wish that we could have spent some time in the White Tower like a day before someone makes them accepted, where like they're like in a class and Egwene is like doing stuff and they're like, wait, when you left you couldn't pull this off and now you're doing it with ease. Let's, you know, it would just add credence to what's going on, as opposed to this like, well, you're back, you're accepted now, let's, you know.
Yeah, I definitely want to see some like Aes Sedai training, and I want to see Elaine and Egwene's accepted.
I'm also surprised because in the books we haven't met the council yet, so it doesn't change anything for the books. But because we've seen the council of the Aes Sedai on the show, the fact that we haven't experienced the council at all is weird to me. The Swan seems to make decisions unilaterally in the books, whereas it seemed like she had like there was like a senate in the show, and so I wonder if we're gonna meet that senate in the books when we meet them. Swan
Maybe
seems to
that's
just
a
do
show
whatever she
thing.
wants, right?
Yeah, because she does just kind of do whatever.
Dobie, you got your Snark Smart shirt. Oh,
Yay!
I'm so happy to hear that.
I'm so glad you like it.
Everyone who's been getting them says that. So we switched from Redbubble to Fourth Wall for our merch, and everyone who's been getting the Fourth Wall merch says that the quality is super high. So I'm really happy to hear that.
It's like a really comfy shirt. So we're excited to get ours.
Before we get out of here, just want to remind you all, we are sponsored today by HelloFresh. HelloFresh is a meal delivery service that will send pre-portioned ingredients straight to your door so that you can have some really, really delicious meals. We've been eating HelloFresh the last few days, and it has been fantastic. We're going to be talking about this for the next month, y'all. 30 days, 4 episodes sponsored. It's so cool. If you want to get 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts across 6 HelloFresh boxes, you can do that with free shipping by going to the link that I just dropped in the chat. It's also going to be in the description down below, in the podcast notes, everywhere, depending on where you watch this. And you just use the code POGSE3330, and you too can get some food. We want to thank HelloFresh for linking up with us. And just know, HelloFresh, that whether or not you continue to sponsor us, we love your food.
We're probably still going to keep ordering.
It's really good.
Yeah, the 3 meals we've had so far have been so good. And then we also have this banana bread, or not banana
Zucchini bread.
Zucchini, chocolate zucchini bread we haven't made yet that I'm super excited to try. So, yay!
So really, really excited. Stormd wants the Discord link added to the show description notes.
We don't post...
We should do it. We should just do it, and we'll deal with the Discord. We'll deal with it.
Okay. If we do that, we just might have to add some extra
Discord
security measures to the Discord. Our Discord has been attacked in the past by some pieces of crap people. And so that was the reason we didn't just post the Discord link everywhere publicly all the time.
I think we should just, though. I think that...
I know, people
We're just going to have a
join
public Discord, and we're going to have to just... we're going to have to find some extra moderators.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's fair. Because we, if you guys want to keep participating in the Wheel of Time conversation, it is ongoing in our Discord in the appropriate channels. And so we want to make sure you can participate if you'd like to.
Y'all, thank you for joining us for another Nerdy Wordy Book Club. This has been episode 11, the first 15 chapters of The Great Hunt. Or no, The Dragon Reborn.
The Dragon Reborn.
We are going until what is it next week?
Oh, good question. I can't
remember where we're ending next week. Chapter... It's in my phone, isn't it? Chapter 32.
32.
Oh my god, there's so many chapters in this book.
Yeah.
The end of chapter 32 next week, y'all. That'll be Friday, as always, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at youtube.com/nerdynightly. Until then, there are going to be no more streams this weekend from us because we're going to Comic-Con here in Toronto all weekend. Yeah. So you will see us back Monday morning with the Nightly Morning Show, 11 a.m. Eastern here, as always, on YouTube. Also, we are going to be doing some fun stuff in the next few weeks, but I will be back streaming next Tuesday. And Clarence will be streaming next Monday, right?
Yeah, probably Monday. That's my normal schedule. But,
all right. Follow us around the internet. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Claris Polaris.
And as always, y'all, Do something nerdy tonight, you dang nerds. Oh, before you click off this video, can you like it? It helps us out so much if you just hit the like button.
That's true.
So if you could just hit the like button and buy HelloFresh and also like come back next week.
If you can do anything, just drop a like. It would mean a lot to us. Thanks, guys.
Do something nerdy tonight, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.